All right, welcome back, guys. It's almost time for XTC versus Pulse. We do have a new friend on the panel in the form of... we have multiple friends now on the panel, and we also have Jabba. Jabba, welcome. Good to have you with us. How have you been enjoying the event so far?
Oh, it's been absolutely crazy. I mean, we started really early this morning. We started off with the WRG Mythic game early this morning, like 9 o'clock we kicked off. And it's been action-packed ever since then, and things have just been absolutely going at a ball's pace to this time now. I mean, I'm sitting on the panel. Before I was behind the computer, you guys didn't get to see me that much, but I'm here now with you guys. And eventually we'll get to the good stuff.
Sorry. Okay, something has occurred. There's anyway, composure. So something has occurred. See if you notice. Anyways, moving right along.
Keep going.
Rains. So it's I mean, may as well have a little bit of a recap on everything that's been going on today. What's your favorite part of the day been so far?
The voices in my head. I'm sorry.
What? What's your favorite part of the day?
Favorite part. Biggest surprise was Ian versus APG. But yeah, it's I think the 90-minute GG was also the shortest one. I mean, we expected maybe Mythic to be beaten by WRG, but that didn't happen. But in the end, having APG lose to Ian in 90 minutes, bigger surprise for me.
Yeah.
I mean, Mythic was able to just hold back WRG just enough. Ended both games 25 minutes in, and then you take a surprise. I mean, we were discussing it that maybe it was going to be the closest game of the day, the Ian APG game. And before you know it, Ian was already pulling out the victory already.
Yeah, no, so that 2-0 was a very big shock, I think, to APG themselves. So let's just not cancel that. And also VNR, I think I saw that on camera.
Okay, right. Very well.
It's a bit obvious there. But also VNR losing 2-0 to XD. Meanwhile, I think the skill levels are very similar. But XD pulling it out with confidence, and it looks like they're a very strong team. Since now they can't be at least top.
Sorry, I just appreciate that you literally had Jabba flying across the screen for a moment.
I just saw that.
I'm no Ricky Maru. I am no Ricky Maru. That is for sure. I mean, he's even taken a bow for that.
Yeah. So I think that was me. I knocked the table over. But yeah, XD showed a lot of confidence, energy showing already. I mean, we haven't seen XTC play, but energy. I think they're a grand finalist. Potentially.
No, absolutely. I mean, I was already back in the day watching Ian from the beginning of the year. They were looking really weak. Now, to this part of the year, looking much different, looking much stronger as well.
Yeah, well, on that note, though, we do have some other interesting content that we can deliver for you guys. And this time it comes in the form of an interview with one of the Pulse players. I believe it's Defi. So, let's go ahead and see what he had to say.
My name is Richard, surname Ware. I play for Pulse Gaming Masters. I've been there for like a month now since I took over the role of Rage Boss, and I play the offlane. My in-game name is Defi, and I came up with it when my first team, like 2-3 years ago, I was feeding the enemy too much kills, so I decided to name myself Defi. I would say Dendi from Natives Vinsur. He actually made me want to play Dota because a friend linked me his channel, and I just started watching him play on Twitch and everything. And he inspired me to go also professionally, seeing how he plays and everything. I feel that gaming in South Africa in general is going at a steady pace. I would say. I mean, compared to last year, looking at a hefty amount of million-rand tournaments this year. And I think it's just going to go higher and higher and eventually into international scene, where international players would come to South Africa to play here. I would say Templar Assassin. That hero is just way too good for me. I've been playing it forever. I enjoy it offlane. it also wreaks havoc in the off lane, and it's really hard to kill. Just really love that hero. I'm most afraid of in other teams. I would say our first game is XTC, but as a player, I'd say Adestam. If he doesn't get shut down, he's a really hard player to actually take on in the late game. In the other teams, I would say XD Gaming. Probably all of the players should be afraid of me in general and us, because even though we really struggle against them, I'd say if we burst them this weekend, we'd take them on big time.
Great. I think he failed the trick question.
Well,
Nyx is not a champion at all, friends.
No,
I don't think we have any champions in Dota, actually.
yeah, no, maybe Roshan.
We do have some champions, actually.
Oh, well,
We have White Rabbit Gaming. That's technically a champion.
So who's your favorite champion?
Maybe Lux from League. Maybe that's a champion.
What is that?
Is it a champion? Is it like an
No,
actual?
that's a.
You mean that soap, right? Lux?
Yeah.
Okay. Usually the champion at
Perhaps
the
it
end
is
of my day.
a champion soap.
Champion soap, yeah, indeed.
Lux. Any particular favorite Lux sort of?
We're going to get music points.
We're being threatened. Right. Okay. So.
I just want to say a word there. It's quite a story if this pans out, but Deathy said XTE should be afraid of Pulse. Now, if Pulse beats XTC, they play in the winners brackets against XD, and then in the best of 3 as well. So if they do beat XTC, they can get into the next round confidently against a team like XD.
Yeah.
So yeah, Deathy.
Can I jump in there? Actually,
Yeah, sure.
Because I think there's something in particular that needs to be quite scared of Pulse. Nick's Assassin, because he's getting ported apparently, guys.
Oh yeah. First ban.
Literally just ported into League of Legends.
Ported. Yeah. No, but Deathy's been around for a long time. I remember him in some pub matches, and it's a really good player. I think he's also in a really good stack. That's why I lose all the time, but
and probably because you buy Dagon on. Yeah.
Situational.
Situational Dagons.
All situations. But
all
good.
situations.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah, must.
Well, okay. So jokes aside, though, I was speaking about this before the break. I was talking about Pulse. They are, in my opinion, they are full of some pretty scary faces there, and I think that they're a team that, if they can come together, they could become something pretty impressive. What do you guys think is missing at the moment that's stopping Pulse from being a truly top team in the Masters?
I don't think there's. Well, I think they must just play it away, hey, against XTC, just show their strength. No, we haven't seen them play in the LAN before. Maybe they just work out because, as you mentioned, they have veterans in there, Wasmak and Doppler, right? They're still the rest of the team, obviously, part of to what counts at their Masters team. But I'll wait to be surprised, let's just say, against XTC.
Well, look, at this point in time, from the patch that's just been, how Dota's just been updated, it kind of resets all the teams back to basically skill levels. I mean, you get to the point where you're not picking up these strats that you would normally look at. A lot of the draft has changed, and a lot of the heroes are starting to be picked up and banned out. We've seen Coddles being banned out and ridiculous things being banned out. So, I mean, using the skills and the veteran experience that you have as a team of Pulse, maybe they just have enough to go the distance today against XTC. Yes, they've got to be careful of XTC. They're looking really strong after the new pickup of Adestam on the team. Yeah. Leaving the APG lineup. And he is a really scary core to actually go up against. If they give Adestam space to actually farm, he will become really, really scary. No. They've got to shut him down, I think, really in the early game.
And then not just him, there's still DotA and Die, and there's other guys you still have to try and close off. But yeah, I'm going to assume that Adestam is going to just keep carrying the team. I think he's going to be very, I don't know, he's going to take it really easily. Maybe the first game of Pulse, I'm just predicting, because XTC is a very strong team. They showed it in the 2 legs so far for the Digital Gaming League of what's going to be VS Gaming now. But yeah, promises. I think XTC can really do it.
So, focusing a little bit more on like perhaps head-to-head matchups between the actual players. Are there any guys here that you think might, be like an interest to watch? Maybe like the two offlaners, or something to that effect.
Maybe the race between the two carriers.
I think a lot of it has really come down to the mid. From what I've seen, is the mids that really do well in the beginning kind of start scaling in their team to the mid game, and then eventually. Well, we haven't seen late game, but it really gets their team to the mid game really well. I mean, in the games that I've casted, is this deny mechanic is actually allowing your mid players to excel ahead a little bit quicker, and those heroes, those mid laners that actually can get ahead, start actually bringing their team along, like put the whole team on their back and actually get them to the finish line. So I feel mid lane is under a lot of contention, but then at the same time is, can your cores actually get the farm if their mid is actually creating the space for them, or getting the farm and the experience that they need.
Great. And I think we've asked this question before, Job, but you haven't actually been on the panel with us.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about...
feel under pressure.
Oh,
you should be, because if you say techies...
All right, I'm ready.
If you say techies...
Level 25 plus 250 damage, yes please.
Every panelist has said that when they came to sit here. They did mention the techies and the damage.
I mean, I feel like we shouldn't have techies.
No, he is a legitimate hero.
Bring techies, please.
Yes.
Whoever
Bring back
you
in
are.
the CM.
Yeah.
No.
Play it the same. Not gonna happen.
Do you realize what you're actually asking for? Do you realize
To
what
make
techies
Dota
does?
great again.
No. What techies does in competitive play is draw games out for hours.
Oh, imagine the costs that we would have.
Yes.
And boom, and he's dead.
The costs we will have are, and they're considering high ground again, but they're not sure where that techies one is. They're just going to go and back off the jungle and start farming again.
Oh, I mean,
I love
me a little bit of techies.
Was the Crystal Maiden that's brought Manta to try assist in the push, just like sending her illusions forward. We're going to get this, guys. Okay, but all right. So, yeah, Jabba was going to hope we see a techies. I guess that's pretty... He's a techies master. 5k MMR on techies, 3k MMR on everything else, right?
Yeah, 2.5 actually. Be fair.
Okay.
Be fair.
Yeah, sure.
Well, let's talk about some guys with higher MMR than ourselves. In fact, let's hear what they had to say themselves. So let's toss it over to an interview with the boys from XTC.
My name is Dennis, Dota and Die. Play for XTC, I'm the captain. What it means to captain this team is a lot. Worked really hard to get into Masters, worked our way from the bottom, and now we're top 3 on the log, so it feels great. How XTC is going to fit into the scene over the next 2 years, really good. I think we're a very strong side. We only have a bright future ahead of us. I think we may have some inconsistencies, but we're one of the stronger teams in terms of talent. We've got very impressive players, so I think we're very optimistic about the future. It's a tough question, especially for a captain to answer. You can't say no, we don't have what it takes. I think we definitely have the potential to do it, but unlocking the potential is in question. We've only been together for a few months, and this is the first time we've actually all gotten together and met one another. So we're a relatively new side, but obviously that's no excuse. I think top 2 is very realistic, and I think we do expect it. But first place, we'll just hope for the best, go in with as much confidence as we can. Definitely Deppy, Aiden. He's got the highest MMR in our team, probably 3rd highest in South Africa as well. He's very competitive, hates losing, so he'll do whatever it takes to win. Probably Energy. We faced them in League 1, and that went well. We beat them consistently, but as League 2 came, they got on form and they started playing far better. They looked like a different team. We still think we can definitely take them. I think it's 50-50, but they are very impressive. Who are we going to dominate? Definitely Pulse and whoever comes up next.
That is a weird way to start.
It's a weird way to start the battle.
They're just going to assume it's us.
I don't I don't think we were that good at. I don't think Jabba was very good at removing cows. I think we were
Look,
giving away.
I'm no thief.
Yeah.
You know? I was trying to
You're
be.
a thief. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm stealing something.
Literally just,
like,
hey
shush.
guys.
That's why you kind of saw my face entering into the.
Yeah.
I think they knew Jabba.
Cool,
I think they knew. Right. Okay. So let's go back on track here. DotA2 is actually quite an interesting character. I'm just curious. I met him for the first time in Bloemfontein. Actually,
You did, yeah.
was that the first time you met him as well?
Yes, he played in the Bloemfontein League, you know, the Coffee Gaming League. But yeah, he also won that as well. Yeah, but that's when I first met him. It's like when, I think it's probably his first tournament, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember that because I knew of his existence, but I'd never really seen him as, you know, a true threat in the sort of competitive side of things.
Yeah.
And I remember that tournament. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a fairly small tournament. There was mostly like local teams and that sort of thing. But there was a particular side that I believe was actually flown down and ended up. Was that his side?
No, it was someone else. I can't remember which side it is as well. Yeah,
I think this makes more sense if it's a narrative. Is that they actually beat that team that was flown down.
Yeah.
And ended up winning. And in a very big way, it was on DotA2's shoulders.
yeah.
So
yeah.
It's quite interesting to see him now.
How he
playing.
has improved and gotten to where he is, which is like what we mutually agreed to is XTC being the second best team right now in South Africa. Yeah.
Jabba, I mean, you've been casting a lot of Masters this year. What is your overall impression of DotA2 been?
Well, he's been a really solid player in the laning phase. Just he's one of those heroes that can just make things happen throughout the game constantly, and you always see him trying to make these plays happen and engage in certain team fights, making those big plays. So he's been really, really impressive constantly in the Masters at least.
Well, it also had some interesting words. So interestingly, most of the interest, in fact, was that he mentioned that Pulse were the team that they were going to dominate. And, well, we get to see right now.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that they almost picked Pulse, right? It might be a case of they have a bit of respect for them and they want to give them a hiding or something happened behind the scenes. But it's just interesting that they actually picked Pulse.
Yeah.
So
As their first game as well. So obviously you'd want to win this one in order to not get knocked down to the lowest brackets, and I think both teams are thinking the same. So yeah, pick your first opponents, right, and then move on from there.
Oh, it's a good way to go about it, and do the interviews. Do another interview tomorrow, and they pick whoever's next on the line.
Because if you pick someone like, for example, WRG, and then it'll be awkward if you don't meet them at all.
Yeah, and possible, right? Because I would assume, just what I imagine the scenes are, they have to go through energy as well to get to the upper bracket, so the upper bracket finals.
Yeah.
And then there's a good chance of, if they were to lose energy, end up facing against energy again in the
whoever loses
bracket,
drops as
never
well.
actually play them,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, Is there any other sort of like players in the XT lineup that you think we are not giving enough sort of mention to just yet?
I think they're, they are what they are. They're very good for both legs. They mentioned that on the first leg they beat Energy convincingly as well. On the second, I think they're taking a photo. And then where Energy came, the second leg, it was I think it was also 2-0. They lost 2-0 or something. It was 1-1. I can't really remember properly. But in the end, I think they're still a pretty strong team in the end. Depi moved to the mid where DotA2 originally was. So he moved to the off lane. The support store, the Blue Catch used to play for them. He was really good. I think one of the best supports I've seen in South Africa. But I think due to some issues on their side, they have Scarnet, who's equally good. So nothing's changed the structure of XTC.
Great. Well, we are about to jump in the draft as well, so we'll have a good opportunity to see how this all plays out in just a second. Techies, please not techies. Let's just go with that.
Unfortunately, it's not in captain's draft. We're not going to see it happen, but
there is sweet mercy here tonight, at the very least.
No, my heart's broken.
Yeah, well,
My heart is broken.
we'll see.
Men can dream.
Great. And interesting, we finally got to see the Sven, by the way. I think it's also worth mentioning. How did we feel about it in the end?
I really like the Sven. What I didn't like is how the supports were rotating without actually stacking jungle. and actually abusing the jungle for the Sven, not stacking ancients, not stacking in the camps. So when Sven was finished in the laning phase, he didn't have an opportunity to ulti up, clear the creep waves, and get that big gold boost, and he was pretty much doing it all alone. And I feel if the supports did a little bit more, could have actually been a bit of a backbreaker for XD.
It's a very fair point. I think that's something that I think that we're probably going to see a lot more of as well as the tournament goes through. Because to me, the Sven actually looked like it was a bit scary, but just wasn't quite scary enough, I guess. Yeah. But anyways, onto this current draft, we have the Legion Commander banned out as well as the IO, and in response we have the Treant Protector as well as the Warlock, with Darkseer being picked up by Pulse, and of course the Shadow Fiend and Clockwork picked up by XD Gaming. Okay, I gotta go. You guys, this is your draft, right? And I will step back mostly, but Shadow Fiend and Clockwork are actually really an interesting combination.
Very interesting interactions between the two.
Yeah, this combination actually goes back, once again, I'm going to name drop good old Dota 1 again, but effectively, and I love this, and people have probably heard me speak about this quite a bit, is that you initiate with a Clockwork, the other alternative is Center War Runner, right? And you get your Shadow Fiend right inside those cogs, and you blow somebody up. And effectively, your opponents have two options: let them die or try and help. And it's forcing the fights perfectly when you do them. And it doesn't happen all the time. You'll notice these guys aren't going to sort of almost like look for that exact moment. But when it does happen, that's like an opportunity to win a game right there. But that is also scary.
Absolutely.
We discussed this Darkseer Axe combination before. And you guys
maybe a Dazzle. Maybe a Dazzle comes up here for the side of Pulse. But just jumping back to your comment with the Shadow Fiend and Clockwork, not only with that amazing blink or invis into the cogs, but I don't know if you know, but if you create the cogs, and Shadow Fiend actually right clicks the cogs, it actually counts as a deny.
Yes.
And it actually starts stacking up his Necromastery for free.
Yeah, that is actually, in fact, there's a particular way you need to do it. You have a support that has to hit the cogs for you because it takes multiple hits to bring them down. So you actually like line it up for the SF. Yeah. But it is actually quite impressive. It would be interesting to see if they actually go with that. I'm not sure if that way. I don't think it's abuse. I don't think it counts as abuse. So I think you are technically able to do it.
Well, I mean, honestly, okay. Well, the Shadow Fiend I was expecting to see a lot earlier during the day. I mean, he's also received a little bit of a buff in terms of his Shadow Razors, and now also with the new deny mechanic. I've been speaking about it all day. How it's just changed. How it's changing the whole laning phase. I mean, Shadow Fiend is going to really excel ahead, especially a natural denier of your mid lane.
Yeah, he's also, I think, the first time picked up in this tournament, right? Yeah, I think they had a ban or two, but going back a little bit as well, Sven getting the ban, Legion Commander as well, very popular today, the Warlock, and also the Treant, who's never been played. And then when I think the enemy thinks, oh, they're going to play the Treant, for example, it's going to be first or second ban. But it's Oracle, quite a surprise. It's been quiet for the past few months, and I can't recall if this patch has revived the Oracle or not, but yeah, I haven't seen him since like last year, November, December.
I think what they've done is they've changed Fortunes into a root now.
Okay.
I think that's probably the biggest change on the Oracle currently, but still doesn't have the greatest stats. Maybe the thinking behind the Oracle is for the Battle Hunger, or maybe the Iron Shell to kind of maybe debuff anyone that may be caught with it. Maybe that's the thinking behind XTC's idea.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see a lot of Oracle, so it is quite interesting to see it. But I think one thing we often sort of overlook is the just like massive, like potent burst power an Oracle actually has. So
Purifying Flames is ridiculous.
It can really hurt somebody. And also, by the way, quite effective against Darkseer because you have a root. So you can actually stop surge units from getting away. It's obviously, it's a wind up, so it's not great, but it's also a case of that you can interrupt the run if you just give it like a couple of seconds, or you can make the spell completely ineffective until the duration is over. So it's quite a nice, interesting pickup here.
Yeah, it's to set up the Clockwork's ulti also, if they wanted to.
Oh, yes,
makes it really easy, right?
I feel like if your Clockwork's missing ultis, you need.
Let me help you.
Well, I mean, the Pudge needed a lot of Atos in the previous game. It was
still helps himself though.
There's a significant difference in speed though.
yeah, fair enough.
And once again, the Shadow Shaman coming out.
Yeah, that's the third game in a row now with VNR having to pick at both games. It's a very strong support. I don't think that it should be position 5, whereas VNR played it as the solo support, but I really think that they should play this hero more aggressively because of the huge early game advantage. But it's a very open draft right now. The Axe and the Doxia being chosen, as you said, good combo, but where are they going to go?
Well, look, the Shadow Shaman in the previous BO3 that we saw didn't actually perform really well.
Yeah.
Pulse Gaming picks it up now this time, and what you mentioned about being aggressive with the Shadow Shaman is so necessary. Getting that blink, jumping in, but you need a team that follows up behind you. You need like the Stampede, almost like a Scent pickup here as well. That would just like send your team in once the Shadow Shaman gets their shackles off, and then just kind of decimate that one hero, and then look for more. If you play it passively, I find you kind of get punished.
Guys, I feel like I'm seeing everything clear now.
Why might that be, Rain? Anything change?
Sorry, it's just I just want to tell you how I feel. No, but yeah, this is, as you said, just to support my statement that Shadow Shaman also, they have the Axe to initiate with. So not necessarily that Shadow Shaman has to be aggressive alone. They have the Doxy with the Iron Shell. He can easily vacuum enemies into position for the Axe to call. And then eventually the Shadow Shaman can just do what he wants. You know, just trap one person, one hero, and then try to, focus on the other. But
you don't think they're going Huskar here, do you?
We're on Pulse?
Yeah, because like I don't feel like this is really being addressed just yet.
No, not too much. Going back to the Shadow Shaman quickly before the draft continues is, instead of picking up the Shadow Shaman, I mean, looking at a different support maybe, picking up maybe the Dazzle to combo up with the Axe. I mean, you get that heal bomb off, you got the Grave. Effect actually becomes a farming game for the Dazzle and manages to pick up his Ags. That's an AoE Grave ability for his team.
Yeah. Effectively, they would work really well against an offlaner like Clockwork. We'll be able to push him way back into maybe the tier 2 tower while you be more aggressive and maybe have the Axe and a Dazzle to take over, to extend over. But they do have other heroes that maybe they have an Oracle to support the Clockwork with. And, we don't really know what Pulse is lining up right now. I mean, they have very lane flexible heroes, and so far they have one support, so they can still pick another support up and see what the carry is going to be. And meanwhile, think, hey, maybe Axe is viable to play a mid. Well, my words eaten, there's the Templar Assassin.
They literally waited just for that pick.
Just for me.
Just like, as soon as you said point, and now.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, TA has actually gotten a lot of love of late as well. I think I don't remember what they did with their patch.
Yeah. Not too sure about what's changed for the Templar Assassin, but he has been pretty popular. We've seen a few bans. We haven't seen play. I think Shadowfin as well, first time with quite a few bans, but yeah, I can't recall what was the update for Templar Assassin.
And, was she just ignored? I can't get the feeling she was just ignored.
Maybe she's just cool.
Yeah, I don't think it's much change, and she was doing well in the previous patch, so it makes sense that she's still kind of viable. Also, since she is quite good against the SF in the middle lane.
Yeah, and that's great as well. This bringing out the standards, having the jungling Axe, solo support, Shadow Shaman, and then the Juggernaut to carry as well. This is not too bad.
So 4-position Doxy or 4-position Axe?
I think it's the 4. Oh, good question. Good question. The Axe would be really good because he's playing against the Clockwork. Meanwhile, if Axe takes the jungle, he'd be farming up and having the Dogs here move over to the offlane to try get the Iron Shells off. That's a very good question.
Adestam, Vengeful Spirit.
Are you sure it's not an Oracle, Adestam?
At this point, it's but
Oracle, which is...
Yeah, the Adestam's Vengeful Spirit is what we hoped for.
I think he's the only core that's actually successfully run Vengeful Spirit as a core.
Right. Well, anyways, we're almost about ready to hand over to our casters. Gentlemen, there's one last thing we need to do here, and that is make some predictions on this entire series. I think is actually fair. Giving you a bit of a leeway, letting you reach this point, but what's going to be Jubba?
Well, I really like the draft from Pulse. Surprisingly, the Shadow Shaman ties up really nice with the Jugger. Scared of XTC because I've seen what the players are capable of. Just purely on draft, I'd have to back Pulse, but I know the strength of XTC. So I don't know how to answer that really.
Pick one, we're running out of time.
Okay, XTC.
Jubba commit.
XTC.
2-1, 2-0, what's it going to be?
I think it's going to be a 2-1. 2-1 to XTC.
You know, the only reason I've been losing all these bets is because I'm second. I get to choose second because I want to make it exciting also.
I think you should just, instead of make yourself look bad, you should just pick the...
Sure, 2-0 to XTC.
Right, I think I'm going to follow you on that one. 2-0 to XTC as well, but to take us through all the action, I think it's about time that we start tossing it over to our casters. That's going to be Ridditz and Scarpy. Ridditz and Scarpy, take it away, lads.
Well, thank you, everyone. I mean, for once, the casters, or the panelists, sorry, actually got it right. It is going to be, I think, 2-0 for XTC. I think they overheard us talking earlier, except for Chubba.
Yeah, no, there's no way that Halbert thought of that one by himself.
No, I mean,
not a chance.
Clearly not. They're already 2-0 down. We're 2-0 up. So clearly they're like overheard, or they asked production to actually feed them the answers that we were talking about. I think that's more likely.
There we go. Now you've discovered the flaws.
Well, guys, on that note, I'm Ridditz. Joining me is Scarpy. This is, of course, XTC versus Pulse. XTC rated in the top 3 at this point during the Masters. Pulse, lots of people put them around that 5th, 6th mark. But considering they're going up against XTC now, it's going to be a difficult road for them.
Yeah, I can only agree with you. I think a side like Pulse, they've got a lot of great players, in fact, and it's just they haven't really been performing at their best. They definitely have that potential, but unfortunately they've taken a stumble here and there, and maybe this is a good time for them to pull it together. I mean, they got a best of 3 to work with here. They're at a LAN event. A lot of these guys are very experienced, probably one of the more experienced teams here. So
they have big names. They have Smacker. I mean, I don't know what the keys are here. I don't actually want to screw anything up on this PC, but there you go. Have a look at that. Doppler, Aghanim, Smacker, Deathy, Fady. These are names that have been around the scene for years.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you also have Deppy, Adestam, DotA2, the same coming in for XTC, but it just, I don't know. Looking at these players' names, you should feel that they would be also around that top 3 mark.
Yeah, they've been playing Dota for a decent amount of time, a competitive Dota for long. On the same page, I mean, their opposing side, XTC, are on great form, and we can't neglect the Stam. He is probably the more daunting individual to go up against here for XTC.
But they picked him up with Vengeful Spirit, so it's also not his standard carry. But Venge is strong in his or her own right in regards with having that utility for that mid-game phase.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw a carry Venge earlier today, and it was pretty damn strong. On the same page, I mean, Deppy's going to be playing SF, first SF we're seeing today, I believe. And
I believe you're right.
And I think Deppy is still probably a force to be reckoned with. I mean, everyone can say Adestam is insane, but Deppy on the same page is a concern for many people. So we'll keep an eye on both of those matchups. I mean, Smacker, he's going up against him in the mid lane, so...
this is actually going to be a very interesting matchup. I mean, the big thing when it comes to denying creeps right now, and that's why, I mean, I've always been a fan of Shadowfiend.
Yep.
The problem now is, with Templar Assassin being able to get XP from the denies, if TA gets the first couple or the first wave worth of denies and last hits, and basically denies out the Shadowfiend, we might be seeing a level 5 versus a level 5 TA versus a level 2 or a level 3 Shadowfiend, and then it's going to be very problematic.
Yeah, absolutely. It could swing both ways, though. TA does pretty well in the opening. The opening, yeah, there we go. The opening and laning stage. So I think Deppy might be under a little bit of pressure. I would like to see what kind of rotations are going to come in to potentially help him out, because often what you do see in previous patch to this, at least one support sits in the mid lane just to secure the last hits there.
SA DotA2 pause mandatory. Is that like a joke? I think it is.
I think it's true.
Well, it is essay. It is essay. You know, an essay pause, which seems like it has to be mandatory. You know, it just happens every single time. Well, let's have a quick look here. Deathy on this offlane. I was actually thinking that Pulse were probably going to try and go with an aggro try.
Yep.
putting Deathy or the Darkseer on the safe lane, running a full-on aggro with the Axe +2, Axe Shadow Shaman +1 itself. But they've actually decided to play a pos 4 Axe. So going into the jungle, of course, every minute he can stack up, but he's going to struggle to get to that level 2 because I think it will take around 3 camps now.
Yeah, that's one of the things. We're going to see how this nerf actually plays out. Fatty, he's going to have his work set out for him. He's going to have to be...
Did you just call him Fatty?
Yeah, I did. he's going to...
You're looking at me when he said that, so yeah.
No offense, but yeah, if he's got to be very efficient. He needs to make sure he makes his movements correctly. He needs to potentially be close to a kill or two just to get those levels. Otherwise, it could pay off. We'll see. I mean, this is pretty much the telling time.
Why is... Does he start off with 12 necromancy stacks?
Oh, the cogs, my friend. He denied all the cogs. Forgot to point that out. He was denying cogs to get the souls.
Oh, that is actually insane. I did not think of that.
Yep, disgusting strategy. I've seen it be used quite often, and
I'm like looking there. I'm like, how can he be sitting on so many freaking denies?
Yep, it's obscene actually. it's really obscene. But we can already see TA has, I suppose, a little edge, but his wave got cleared out. But Smacker is going to actually go deep to try and get whatever denies he can. But yeah, this is dangerous waters for him.
Oh, bottom lane though, we might see the first blood coming through here on the Darkseer. He gets stunned, he gets chained up, he's so close. One more right click needed, is it going to be there? No, 30 HP, instant salve up, nearly getting the first blood on towards the bottom lane. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Deathy, we heard in the interview earlier, he's the biggest problematic player for him is Adestam, and he's got a match up against him here. So every time he's going to get away with something like that, he's going to feel pretty good about himself, and I suppose good for him for managing to survive that. And he's forced back into the jungle though. This is pretty a tough situation, and I suppose that's the greed of having an axe in the jungle. But top lane,
yeah, top lane we might actually. Is this going to be our first blood? I don't think they actually have enough just for the 2 heroes there.
Yeah.
But middle lane, this is what I really want to talk about. 13 and 20 up for Deppy.
Yeah, he didn't get XP for the denials of the cogs, which is something we should
consider. But it's that damage output, and now being able to actually go toe-to-toe up against Smacker and sort of control this lane.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, actually. It's one of those strategies that people say might be a bit broken or something of that sort, but we don't see it all that often. But yeah, it seems like Adestam is not afraid to pull this one out of the hat.
Yep, Fady is actually doing okay here towards the jungle itself. Sitting on level 3 as well, so gonna start increasing his farm bit by bit, actually ferrying out a full healing salve. So still no first blood coming out between any of these two teams, both of them taking it slow, taking it even. And Darkseer has also sort of moved into the jungle, so the side of Paul's being very greedy, having the axe and the Darkseer there.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very passive due to the fact that there's a jungler and Darkseer has been forced out of lane. I don't imagine much more is going to come of this laning stage unless they do get a kill on Scarnet. But Scarnet, he actually does get shackled up here, but that's it.
Aghanim pokes his head in there and he's like, no, not needed. But looking at the denies right now, it's, oh wait, no, Scarnet's there. Are they going to wrap around? No, nothing. Doom Bunny, I do like this. He's busy wrapping around. He wants to try and leech as much experience as possible. He knows that the Darkseer is somewhere around here. Unfortunately, just the timing a little bit off.
Yeah, would it be nice if he actually just maybe blocked the camp? He might actually reconsider that as he walks back in that direction.
With the sentry.
Yeah, and that will mean either you're going to force out a lot of money from the Darkseer or one of the supports. In fact, he's going to just block it with his body, it seems. Yeah, there we go. He's just going to stand here until the 4 minutes up. So he's going to hinder the Darkseer.
But maybe sentry up there and then block this one with your body, then you block up both.
I think he wants to potentially deward mid if they're going to discover a ward there. That could potentially be a thought process for him.
Deathy might think that there's a sentry up there now because he's going to come to the lane and actually notice no one is there. And Scarnet's actually also not doing too badly up on this lane. He's sitting on 10 for 10.
Yeah. Actually, a good point. That actually might have been the biggest bait of the day. That Doom Bunny was standing there. He's going to see, the big camp's blocked. I'm going to get a sentry ward, try and deward it, and nothing's going to be there.
Yep.
So
let's have a look if a sentry ward's going to be ferried out to him. He's sitting on level 3, so he's been on level 3 now for, I think, over a minute. He hasn't been able to get much now, only with that one camp. Looking at this lane, can they actually kill him with only these two? DotA and dies there.
Scarnet's found
this
in
is
the jungle.
This is going to be a big stack. If he can actually... Oh, wait, is this going to be the first blood? Where is it actually going to come from? Fady will die. First blood going the way of Scarnet. Meanwhile, the Darkseer is getting a triple stack here with all of the Iron Shells. And no, Adestam actually wants to move in. This might be 2 kills here for the side of... No, it doesn't actually latch. Well, it does latch, but it's not enough damage.
Yeah.
So only the 1 kill, but putting the side of XTC just at around 1,000 net worth ahead.
Yeah, Deathy will be happy with that. He gets a little bit of extra gold. Experience is a bit tough to get, as he has been jungling, and jungling obviously having that nerf. It's definitely showing itself here for him. I suppose more than the Axe. The Axe is actually not doing too bad. He's hit level 5. He's trying to get those Tranquils up, but we can definitely see a sort of reduction in the pace that you usually see from an Axe in these sort of situations.
Well, if the Axe can get a couple of stacks off, which he actually has one over here, and I think he might just go for another triple stack, or no, he's actually just going to straight up farm this.
Yeah, the tomato hits hard, so he'll rather just not have to deal with taking too much damage, I suppose. Does have the Tranks though. Oh no, he doesn't have Tranks, so he'll have Tranks now, so he'll be okay. In fact, he'll be fine.
Moving out 3 seconds, unfortunately, too late for the camp to spawn again. So 1-1. No, not 1-1. 1-0 up for XTC. Do we see this game going passive like this for a long time, or do you just think it's up until XTC gets a couple of core items and then they're going to try and start steamrolling, or vice versa for the side of Pulse?
I think Scarnet, once he does get level 6, is going to be...
Smacker's busy diving up here. They are trying to turn around and go out the kill on the clock. Clock, of course, does have his cogs up. If he needs to use it, he's going to try and just move a little bit away. 1 hit needed. Unfortunately, not Scarnet. The play is coming through from him. He is still alive. 2 heroes getting stopped up here by DotA and Die. They're still busy chasing up Scarnet. Scarnet, unfortunately, he is not down just yet. Now they have to be careful because Aghanim, well, he pops up his healing ward, but he is in a lot of trouble himself. Are we going to see any aggressive TPs? There you go. Shadow Fiend coming in. Are we going to see anything coming through? He unfortunately does not get the kill. Now Fady's going to sacrifice himself, and it's only going to be the one that could have gone very, very, very bad for the side of Pulse. They managed to get out with only a single death.
Absolutely brutal, actually. That was a lot of rotations, and it worked out so poorly for them as there was a kill on to Depi. And Scarnet just, he's got his dancing shoes on, man. He's just running through the trees there.
We can actually have a look at the replay there quickly. Yep. Coming through, I mean, you can see how he TPs in and then gets the 1 wave off, but unfortunately Fady, well, fortunate for Fady and the rest of the team, he just goes in there, gets the call to stop that second Shadow Raise. I mean, if that hit, that could have possibly been a triple kill.
Yeah, I think that first raise meant no one was going to go back to help out that Axe.
Yay, Scarnet finally is going to actually... Oh, no, yeah, there you go. Doppler's just like, screw this, guys. Getting the first kill on the board for the side of Pulse. And Scarnet's been causing a lot of problem for Pulse.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been doing a good job. He's hit level 6 now, so after he comes back alive, I expect him to actually look into different lanes, and Pulse is going to be unsure at this time as to where he is. They should be aware that he is level 6, so maybe a bit of a concern here for them.
But I mean, looking around the 8-minute mark, have a look at the net worth. Leading the charts here is Depi, of course. No surprise there with the Shadow Fiend. Sitting around 3,900. Then 3,500 up on Adestam, playing exceptionally well as well. And we might actually see him getting a kill here. Darkseer is going to be stunned up. And he does have a surge, which he uses. But nope, DotA and Die gets the kill. So 3,600 up for Adestam. Then 3,100 on Aghanim. And then Smacker. Well, Smacker's being gazed upon just as I'm going through that. Only sitting on 2,700, so 1,300 below his counterpart, but they might actually be able to get a kill. Fady wants to go for more. They actually do manage to go. Oh, there's the swap. Very well played onto the Axe. Axe, the Requiem of Souls, going through, getting a lot of damage. They still need 1 more right click needed, but no! Depi, Depi actually didn't get the kill. There was a combined kill, nearly managing to get out of that. Defi, does he actually have another surge to help out Smacker? He's drawing them away. Very well played there. Unfortunately, Smacker is going to drop as well. So he tried to pull them away from... Smacker over there just to save his life, but unfortunately, no.
Yeah, we're going to get ourselves a replay of that, and there we go. Really good hook shot. Set it up very nicely for the SF to get the double raise. The sheep came through, but I mean, it just wasn't enough.
If there was a blink up on the axe there, though, I think that the entire fight would have gone completely differently. The Requiem hitting towards the edge, and that surge, dude, that surge, it was so close. And I think one of the creeps probably got that last hit.
Yeah, Yuri the creep just beat the last little bit of sense out of that axe there. So, I mean, it's not looking good for Pulse right now. I think that start for Depi was just too good. He's just in a very comfortable position, and they haven't been able to shut it down.
4,600 net worth versus 3,000. I mean,
yeah.
Smacker has to pull something out of the bag here to try and compete up against that. I think he only has his boots up right now. Of course, he does have a full ring of Aquila as well as a bottle. But that's still 1,700 gold behind. And if you have a look at the Shadow Fiend, that 1,700 gold, that's the Ogre Club and the Magic Wand.
Yeah, I think Aghanim is going to have to play a very essential role in finding a lot more farm. They see a rotation here.
DotA and Die, he actually gets shackled up. Aghanim getting the spin-off. But yeah, there's no hope for DotA and Die there. It doesn't matter what he did. He had level 6 up, but still, I don't think it was worth it.
It's still a big rotation. It's your safe laner had to move all the way down to this bottom lane just to get a kill onto Oracle. So it wasn't actually a very, very good fight for Pulse by any means.
If Pulse can capitalize on this to get the tower, but it might not be that way. Dark's here, unfortunately, he's surging himself up, but the Razor's coming through here. Depi just completely dominating. One more raise needed. Aghanim might actually drop from this. There you go, the stun. And XTC, wasn't it just like 1 minute ago that I was saying nothing is happening?
Yeah, and then a double damage got picked up by Depi, and they're going to take towers here. This is brutal.
Well, let's actually have a look and see exactly how that worked out. And this was purely, there you go. Adestam gets that swap, and that's the power of a Avenge carry. And they managed to get the kill, managed to get the pop, double damage, the first raise hit, and unfortunately, Pulse, what can Pulse do right now? Because they went for a very greedy lineup to have that Pulse for Axe, and he doesn't have his Blink Dagger up yet. It's 12 minutes in.
Yeah, they need to make sure they don't lose too much objectives before this Axe gets his Blink Dagger up. I think they're going to be very reliant on him being successful. But not only that, the Axe also needs a Blade Mail. He needs something of that sort to really make the bigger impact. But he's farming pretty slow. I mean, the nerf to the jungle definitely showing itself here. You usually expect about a 9 to 10 minutes blink on an Axe, and it's already 12 minutes. Yes, he died once, but other than that, he's been largely just farming in the jungle. He made one rotation towards mid. So it's really tough.
Darkseer has Arcane Boots up. Nowhere near mech just yet. But we might see some kind of rotation here. Adestam might be in a lot of trouble. He actually gets sheeped up, rammed up right now. And Aghanim, he's going in for the kill up on the Venge. The Venge turns around and gets the swap. And Venge is still alive. He swaps himself out to safety. Doom Bunny comes in with the ultimate, but it's not even needed. Aghanim, he's being chased down right now. Can they actually catch him out? They don't need to. Another rotation coming through from Pulse that just did not pan out.
That was sick. That was actually really beautiful from Adestam. That swap, I was actually sure he was dead. He disappeared on my screen. I thought, oh, SF has a Blink Dagger, but what do you know? What a great swap.
Yeah, I mean, if we... not quite sure. I think let me just quickly have a look there. Yeah, looking towards the top lane. They're actually pushing out towards the tier 1 tower. Just busy looking. Where's everyone? Oh, they're top.
Yeah.
XTC, they're just going to move forward and take towers, take objectives. I don't know how Adestam got out of that one alive. I really don't.
I have no words to add on to that. But at least they're making a bit of a trade here, Pulse. Maybe just some chip damage onto the tier 1 tower. I don't think they're really going to trade the tower here. If they do, that will be okay for them. Blink Dagger is up on the Axe shortly. He's actually sitting here waiting for it.
Doppler's actually dropped down his Serpent Ward, so I think they might just sack this completely. But Skarner's come in. He does have a hook shot. There you go, hook shot going straight in. He wants to get this kill and actually get out. He'll be able to pop him. And we're wondering if it's going to be a Rocket Flare Clockwork. It's not, only level 2 up in Rocket Flare, but still enough damage output. 10 and 2,500 net worth in favor of XTC. But take the net worth advantage that Depi has away.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's even. So don't look against that 10-2 score and say, oh no, this game's over.
Yeah.
Because if you take out the likes of the Shadow Fiend, all of a sudden you are actually a little bit ahead.
Yeah, essentially, Pulse is here with 4 cores, right? Because Axe has been jungling, so he is going to have a decent net worth. In fact, their fourth position is going to be Deathy on
And
that
there's a
dark
blink
side.
up.
Yeah,
There's a blink
exactly,
on
and a smoke. So this is their moment to shine, and if they can catch Deppy, that will be big.
Look at this positioning, though, from Adestam. Just standing over here towards the creeps, making sure that he's sort of around there. But let's have a look here. This is what we wanted. Deppy, he gets jumped upon. Now they're just going in to blow him up. I think they will be able to get the kill. The dunk is there.
Oh.
Oh, well,
Adam.
we actually see more supports coming in. Adestam coming through. Are they going to be able to do anything? There's the blink forward. Another call up onto the Vengeful Spirit. The support TPs are just taking so long, but the Darkshire wall is there. Adestam swaps himself out to safety once again. Unfortunately, it's not really going to do much. The Darkshire is dead. Will they actually counter-engage on top of this? Those TPs just came through extremely delayed, but they managed to get the kill. And Adestam still lived. I don't know, alive. I literally wanted to say he's still alive and he still lived. How the hell is he still alive?
I don't know what to do with my hands right now. That was incredible. He's managed to swap himself out twice now in a situation that you thought that there's just no chance for him. And man, this is looking. I mean, one of the things is the net worth, yes, is staying close, but they're just finding these constant kills and getting this high amount of XP, and the two cores are just pretty far ahead. And yes, they got the SF down, but he's going to quickly get his souls back now, and I don't think he's going to be too hindered. The one thing that is interesting for me is he's going straight for a Silver's Edge on the Shadow Fiend, which, yeah, it's good.
Okay.
I mean, it's good up against Axe. You can make sure he doesn't get any counter helixes off. And Juggernaut crits.
I just think it's more. It's just more aggression, to be honest. You have less of a cooldown up on your invis. You can play a lot more aggressively. You do a lot more damage. I like it.
Yeah.
Once you're this far ahead, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, 1-0 and 5 on the Vengeful Spirit, which it shouldn't be that way. It's just luck. But people might say it's.
No.
All right.
Let's have a quick look at that replay. While the guys are busy rushing, just look there. They literally jump on him. The TP is taking extremely long to actually go down. Fady gets a good call off there. The stun is there, but that clockwork cogs literally pushed everyone away and gave Adestam the time to just swap himself out. That was just amazing play from the side of XTC.
Yeah.
To be honest, and it wasn't just Adestam there, it was the clockwork cogs that actually gave him that 1 second needed.
The best part of that escape, he didn't sacrifice a teammate. He in fact just threw the Darkseer into his own death there. And like I was saying, some people might say it's luck, but I mean, a very...
hook shot. Narrowly missing Smacker, busy TPing out instantly. I think Doppler might be the sacrificial lamb, or they back out. So just a little bit of damage, chip damage onto the tier 3 tower. Tier 2 tower, sorry.
Well, I don't want to end by saying it was lucky for Adestam. I wanted to say the more you practice, the luckier you get.
Ah,
Yeah,
Mr. Gary Player.
Yeah, there we go, some Gary Player comments. But he's just been playing so well, in fact, with those sort of movements, and the laning stages has just gone too well for XTC at this stage. But again, we have now the Blink Dagger up on the Axe, so they're going to play a little bit more hesitant in pushing into towers, and their positioning is going to be vital.
I mean, the big thing that we have to start focusing on now as well is the Juggernaut. Juggernaut slowly but surely catching up in regards with net worth up against Adestam. He will have his Mantis style up very soon. And what impact does that Mantis style actually have in this game? But before we actually go on that, there's a swap. Blink forward instantly coming through, but Doppler being blown up, Smacker being blown up. There wasn't even time to hype anything there. It was just poof.
Yeah. And your SF is hitting for about 200 damage plus the minus armor that comes out from your Venge. I mean, Venge went for the build with only 1 point in Magic Missile, which is just amplifying his team's damage output here. So 2 down, the Axe doesn't want to really go into this one. Look at how well they position themselves to make sure that someone's either going to take the tower or turn this fight around very quickly.
Yep. Scarlet as well, standing all the way back in case he needs to counter-initiate or anyone tries to wrap around. But they're just TPing back, managed to get the tier 2 tower, and this is extremely structured play coming through from XTC. Very structured, very composed. They take an objective, they fall back, they push out the lanes, get farm, take another objective. The guys are looking strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And by all rights, they want to be prepared for WRG, so they're not going to do anything radical. They want to keep a cool mind going on forward, because these are the guys that can really compete for that #1 spot, if any. And everyone's saying, oh, it's a one-man horse race really for first place and second place. So energy is probably going to be their number one goal, and then they can see if they can slay the giants. So there's a lot in it really with them playing the structured game, as you say. They're taking their time. They're not doing anything ridiculous, even though they have a pretty decent lead at this stage.
That's it. 4,500 net worth lead up for XTC. Once again, if you take away Deppy's net worth advantage, that sort of falls away again.
Yeah, for sure. But again, we're looking at 4 cores on the side of Pulse. So if they can really get those going, that's great. Then they have a chance. But how much time are they going to have? They've lost almost all their exterior towers. They got 1 tier 2 standing. They need to make something out of this.
This
very
blade
quickly.
mill that's going to be coming up on Fady, how important is this? Oh, Fady, is he actually going to get the call off? He does. He goes on to the Vengeful Spirit. Let's see if Adestam actually can survive this yet again. It seems like he is going to be able to. He turns around. He wants to go toe-to-toe up against the Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin drops. They want to turn around. Clockwork is in a lot of trouble right now. Fady, he actually blinks himself away, so it's only a 1-for-0. Once again, Adestam lives here, boys. Aghanim, he's spinning for his life. Doppler's in a lot of trouble. Doppler drops. Doppler is down. That's 2 heroes down for the side of Pulse. And guess what? Adestam's alive.
Yeah, again, good rotations from Deppy there. And Deppy's been
Can you die?
That's the question. Do you bleed, my friend? But I mean, it's been really. I've been watching Deppy now. His razors have been like sniper shots here. There's no way you're escaping this. If you low, he's gonna destroy you.
On point.
Yeah.
I mean, getting those razors off, and it's not like we're saying he is hitting them, moving, hitting, moving, hitting, moving. I mean, seriously, Deppy is playing out of his mind today. I'm not taking anything away from any other players. Adestam hasn't died yet. Deppy has. So I think Adestam has that to his name. But Deppy's just been playing insane. But there you go. Oh, Clockwork. Wow, Clockwork goes in extremely deep up into the docks here. Are we going to see any kind of swap out coming through? Scarnet gets trapped in the cog right now. There's the wall. There's no wall. There was a vacuum. But unfortunately, he vacuumed him out of the wall trap.
Yeah, he actually destroyed the ward, so it was fine.
Okay.
So he managed to escape himself. It was a really good ward placement, though, from Doppler, if we can add on to that. But yeah, they've lost a tier 3 tower now, and their shrines are under siege, so this net worth margin is growing and growing and growing. And these 4 cores not really paying off at this stage yet.
Okay, so 15-3, 7,000 net worth in favor of XTC. Let's have a look at Pulse. Smacker, he has his Blink Dagger up. He nearly has his Deso.
Yep.
Is that a big deal here?
I think it is, because when the axe does catch someone, they're going to be able to blow out and blow him up and disengage very quickly. And that's a pretty big pro for them.
Do you think they can kill Adestam with a Deso?
No, I think they're going to look to at least kill the Oracle or potentially the CM very quickly, and then maybe force him onto the back foot and try and farm whatever they can in that period of time.
Scarnet is hunting. Blind hook, Scarnet. Come on, do it. Do it for your country. Do it for your motherland.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get much. They're going to definitely play it safe now, Pulse. They need to find farm. They, like we say, they don't really have much core items besides maybe the Juggernaut has his Manta and the Axe with the Blink, but they need that Deso up on Smacker, and other than that, they need probably Guardian Greaves. Looks like actually Blink for the Darkseer, so he's going to look to maybe play more of a defensive role in vacuuming and creating space for his team. So that's
I like this. And I actually don't think it's more of a defensive role. I think this is to be more aggressive. I think this is to actually jump XTC before they can start the engagement. Because that's one of the biggest problems right now is XTC is taking the engagements however they want. They are taking the fights the way they want to. They're taking the map the way they want to. But with a Blink Dagger up, if they actually have some vision, I actually think they can possibly force it onto XTC and catch them off guard.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. I think maybe they realize they're in a pretty dire situation and they want to just jump on them, get them first, get some sort of advantage in a team fight. So I think actually you have a very fair point there. But Fatty, at the same time, he's finally got that blade mail up. So that's going to be a big impact, especially in bringing down Adestam before he can swap himself out of some miracle situation again.
Well, if Deppy, the thing is Deppy's been getting so many double damage runs. but the next double damage rune Deppy gets might actually cost him his own life.
Yeah. Again, I think Deppy's in a position where he's not too phased. He can very easily... Oh. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just having a look at this ward and then instead D-ward.
Yeah. Oh, cheeky.
So unfair. Don't you just hate it if you play support and you're like, I'm going to ward up here because we need vision. You place down the ward, you walk away, and someone's just like, thank you.
Yeah, that's the... As a support player, I can confirm that...
I'm going to masticate that word.
But 5-man smoke now. They're going to see if they can catch something here and maybe end this game.
Yeah, they actually do manage to catch out Deathy. Deathy, he does, of course, have a mechanism if he wants to use it, but it's not even needed. Scarnet, he does have a hook shot to try and counter initiate, but it seems like the team from Paul's is actually moving towards the bottom lane. They want to try and counter initiate, counter engage, counter tower, counter anything at this point.
Yeah, if they can make any sort of trade, it'll be good for them, no matter what. Even if they trade a kill for a kill, tower for a tower, anything is going to be a pro. But they can't afford to lose much more on the high ground. They've already lost the tier 3 tower, they've lost their shrines, that's done. Any sort of trade is going to be fine, but they need to try and start getting ahead after that. I know they're still looking for potentially some more core items. They have the Deso now up on the Templar, but he will want a BKB too. They want to get BKBs potentially. Okay, actually going for the 4-staff on the axe. I was maybe considering the BKB, but seems like he's going in that direction.
Doom Bunny has his Blink Dagger up on the Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, that's...
And just as soon as you got that up, Rosh was up. I was just about to say, do you think that they're going to wait for the next Rosh before they do anything, XTC? And they might actually do that. With that Blink Dagger up on Crystal Maiden, it's going to be very difficult for the side of Pulse to actually try and do any kind of engagement because Crystal Maiden is going to stay way back. And if Pulse moves into here, she's just going to blink in behind and ulti.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing, you're pointing at how rich these supports are. Doppler is so poor. He is really, really having a tough time because he's been left in that solo supports situation, which I know everyone despises if you get caught in that sort of scenario. But Roshan, like you say, they're going to take that one for themselves. And I don't think there's going to be any contest here. And
no, Pulse can't because if they lose that fight right there, well, actually they want to go for this and it's just a little bit too late. Oh, the hook shot narrowly missing, but smoke gets popped. Sentry dropped as well.
Yeah.
And I think this is the call for XTC to push probably top.
Yeah, that was a true blind hook. If that actually caught the axe while he was smoked, there would have been a couple of question marks in the mind of Fatty there. But yeah,
back ban incoming.
Back ban, yeah. But yeah, that would have been a no scope of the year. But they're gonna go for the high ground. They should at least get a lane of racks, if not two. There just needs to be some sort of miracle defense here. They need a call into vacuum wall. They need sort of ecstasy to position themselves so that they can get these sort of scenarios. So it's a tough ask here for Pulse to defend this.
Does Pulse have the high ground defense?
They have decent high ground defense with axe call. Decent amount of damage that comes out from Smacker.
Going toe-to-toe up against Deppy, doing a lot of damage, but Deppy busy healing up, of course. The Desolator is up, so that's probably why he did so much damage coming through, but let's see who is going to get the jump, of course. Deppy, well, the call, not going to be there. Deppy does have the Aegis of the Immortals, so they can't really blow everything on him. But there's the sheep in. Now we're going to see some kind of engagement coming through. There's a spin coming through from Aghanim. Aghanim is taking a lot of damage himself. Deppy is going to be in a lot of trouble. But Doom Bunny getting the Glimmer Cape, getting everything off there. That's 2 heroes down. There's a big back wall coming through. The dunk unfortunately misses. Smacker wants to go toe-to-toe with him right now. Smacker might be in a bit of trouble if he can't actually get away from this. He gets pushed away there by Scarnet, but it's Adestam. Adestam wants to go for more. Smacker is down, and that was Deppy just going ham at that point. He, of course, there's a buyback, a big jump in from Fady. There is no dunks from him because he actually missed the previous dunks, unfortunately. Otherwise, he would have been able to get a couple off the... Well, there's another stun onto Juggernaut. The Juggernaut actually dies here. This might be GG coming through here. So they're turning around. Deppy wants to go in for more. Deppy does not get the kill just in. Oh. There you go, getting the long range off. And now it's going to be Templar Assassin as well. Couple of diebacks coming through from the side of Pulse and XTC. Adestam still has not died.
Yeah, that's GG well played actually has been called. So fair enough. Fair enough.
I can't see that.
Yeah.
GG well played. I mean... 23 and 5. Big network change.
Yeah, a pretty big net worth lead there, to be fair. Or at least big margin lead. I think Pulse, they went very, very greedy with an Axe jungle, and they sort of kind of get punished now. And this is one of the things, going greedy against a lineup like XTC, like we said, they're in good form. They're going to punish you, and they're going to punish you hard. And that's exactly what they did. So Pulse do have a couple of things to look back on here. Maybe they learn a couple of things and to come back into game number 2. It's looking tough, but they can do it. They do have the skill.
Well, looking at the only person that has not or that did not die there in that entire game was, of course, Adestam. Amazing play coming through from him. Depi just dominated from the get-go, beginning to end. Look at the amount of damage dealt, 16,000, more than anyone else in the game. The next closest was Skynet, actually, funnily enough. Skynet sitting on 10,000.
Yeah, it's actually quite incredible. I think Depi's raises were just it makes me sweat a little bit here when I see those raises. Those were, I don't think he missed a single raise, unless I missed it.
Does it make you moist?
Very moist, so so.
Okay.
But I mean, there's definitely a couple of things that Pulse need to address going into this next draft. Greed is just probably not the way to go. The jungle wasn't efficient enough.
I like this. I wanted them to go aggro. I wanted them to go aggro with that Axe.
Yeah.
To put the pressure on Adestam, to make sure that that the supports from XTC can't move.
Yeah.
But guys, on that note, game 2 will be coming up shortly. Pulse can take it. Pulse has the players to take this though.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we're going to be going over to the panel and see what they have to say about
it. Hey guys, welcome back. They didn't sound very excited about coming back to the panel.
No,
I guess we're going back.
I wish we had like maybe 10 minutes more before.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot they needed to get through, and they were like sad that they had to come back to us.
Yeah.
They'll have another. They'll get another shot. So obviously, so far so good for the right hand side of the
Hey,
panel.
listen, I'm still in it. I said a 2-1.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I'm still in it.
Do you think that Pulse can beat XC back to back though?
Look, that game XTC completely excelled and really went ahead. It was really tough. I mean, you see an Axe on the other side of the team, and you generally know an Axe is going to do really well. He came online late. He only really had Tranquils and Blink. Didn't even go for a Vanguard first, so he wasn't really that tanky. And with the auras stacking up on the side of XTC, just made it so hard for them to get ahead. I mean, we even saw the Jugger trying to get the kill onto Adestam, onto the Venge. Couldn't make it happen. And the amount of times they tried to shut down Adestam, couldn't make it happen.
Yeah. Should they have killed Adestam in that secret shop, I think it would have been different. I think they would have gained a lot of gold worth. I think he was on a mega kill already by then. So
0 deaths. So
yeah, so that could have given whoever that, maybe Smacker, to grab that, and I think their net worth would actually go back to it, because we saw how it was maybe an 8 kill difference, and then Devin mentioned that the gold graph was very even. It was right there in the middle where the time is, right? Yeah. So yeah, I think Pulse, they started off okay in the beginning, but just wandered off, and it was a huge kill difference in the end. But it's still possible for the game 2 to happen.
Has that not been a bit of a trend? I mean, a throwback to, I believe it was the final matchup between Energy and APG. I believe that they kind of started out even, and then I lied. It was XD and VNR. They started out fairly even, and then all of a sudden it was just it just crashed, and they just all of a sudden when you look, you're like, oh, I wonder what's for lunch, and you look up, and then it's just
gone. Yeah, it's situations like that. Should VNR have won that rush fight, for example, they could have gotten into their favor, but as you said, you look away for a minute, you go back to it, a lot of things change from there, and that's what Paul said. Paul's Smacker didn't have a good start.
No, he struggled on the
played against Depi, unfortunately.
He was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think that CAs that struggle a bit, but if he did manage to, let's say, play more passively, stay alive for just until your offlaner or your supports can help you out, I think they can actually close down the Shadow Fiend, but Shadow Fiend got too strong.
No, absolutely. A Shadow Fiend from the front is he's a really soft hero. So teams are like generally iffy if they want to actually pick up a Shadow Fiend. But I mean, he got the farm. He was dominating from the beginning. I mean, Deppy went 7 for 1 and completely dominated the early game. Even with the slight nerf to the Silver's Edge, still picking it up. Still showing the dominance of that break, or the potential of the break.
Yeah, pretty spot on.
It's actually, I was trying to tell somebody about this recently as well, is that just the fact that it's a item that you can, use the components of to actually build in things like Skadi. I guess technically man style, but you wouldn't really do that. But it's still actually quite a nice item in that regard, because it's still becomes a component of something you want. And additionally, as you mentioned, break is sometimes very, very good. I want to move this along to something pretty interesting though. So we have some stats. Big shout out to Sargon for the help with this one. And it's some stats on this particular event so far. And we are nearing the end of the first day, so there is some value in to start seeing some trends, although I'm sure it will change quite drastically. But the thing that I find very interesting is that Darkseid has received a lot of love. He's been picked and banned in 100% of all the games so far, inclusive of this one. And he has he's appeared in 3 of the matches, and he's lost all 3.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting that it's a very small sort of number of matches to really try to draw any real comparisons off, but he's getting a lot of value, and he's not actually coming to the party just yet. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
There are still, I think, a lot of surprises up the team's sleeves. Not necessarily that, like the Vengeful Spirit, for example. We saw it as a support, and you did tell me that Alistam is one of the few core players that can make use of it as a carry and still get away with the close situations, like how he swapped out that last second. And
probably the only hero you don't actually need a support saving him. Oracle was saving Deppy on the Shadow Fiend. Alistam was doing his own saving. All he needed was an ally close enough to swap himself out, or an enemy for that fact to get out of the cogs. But going back to the Darks here, I think teams were relying on a lot of the control and the wall to actually do more than what it actually did. The fact that it's been banned out is the Iron Shell. Really, I think it just slows down your cause farm, and fighting your or getting the last sets of your creeps under the tier 1 tower makes it really hard when the Iron Shell's pushing the wave constantly under your tower, reducing the farm. So I think teams that ban it out generally just want to make sure that their core gets a safer lane of farm. And teams that pick it up, that don't make it work, maybe the control isn't completely there.
Fair enough. All right, so a little bit of trivia for you guys. So I think if you don't get this right, there will be consequences.
Oh, why do I feel I'm going to fail this?
Watching you. There are 2 other heroes at the moment that have received a 100% pick and ban rate, and I'm curious if you gentlemen could name them for me. I feel like Jabba actually has. I'm going
to go with Warlock.
And there's 2.
And then Treant.
Reigns?
I was thinking the same thing. So there are consequences.
Hang on, what's our reward?
He's going to say
what's our reward?
There are no rewards for getting Legion Commander and Warlock, right?
Was it Treant?
You said Treant.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick peek here.
Right. APG.
Just notice my hand. Treant has a 33% pick and ban rate.
What happened, guys?
How did we fall so far?
It's been a long day. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I could have won. I could have guessed Legion Commander, but Trent was in my mind,
Right, so it's Jabba's fault, you say. So what's happening is that you both fell together, but now you're basically just offloading Jabba.
Basically.
Like, why didn't you say Legion? I would have said Warlock, and together we would have both been right.
We could have, yeah. No, I had no excuse for that. I was thinking Trent as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Warlock?
But definitely Warlock.
Yeah, Warlock. So Warlock and Legion Commander have been picked up in every single one. Interesting enough as well, Sven has got quite a bit of love in the sense that it's got a 66% pick and ban rate, but it's only actually been picked up once. So
maybe underestimating the supports of the teams. I suppose the Sven, like we mentioned it earlier, is the Sven actually gets ahead when the jungle gets stacked, starts getting that extra gold boost when he jumps into the jungle, and maybe not really identifying with the supports of the teams if they're actually going to do that stacking. Because if you get that done for the Sven, he can really get out of control and snowball drastically.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how this started to develop. I mean, I think I just want to say, like, it's really nice to actually have this in front of me, and of course, I will be using this throughout the event to basically give all of you a hard time.
Continually test us.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I'm going to start
good.
taking notes now.
But I do think what's important this time is like an audience participation moment, right? Where I'd like everyone who's watching at home to let us know what you think Jaffa and Rain should be punished with. Keep it clean, please. And we'll consider it. We'll consider it. But yeah, I mean, okay. So going into game 2, let's put down the stats for now. Obviously, Pulse, they're up against it right now. I think Pulse wouldn't play tonight. We do have one low bracket matchup this evening, which I believe is Mythic versus APG.
Yeah.
So they'll still make it here to tomorrow if they do go home. But obviously, you don't want to wake up tomorrow and be in that position. So, Pulse, what's the first step to recovery?
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it's really. I like their draft. I think maybe they just got to refocus, rethink about the way they go forward, and try and. Yeah, it's difficult because I mean, even if XTC get their draft that they want, Pulse to shut them down, it's going to take a lot of work from them, and they tried their best. I mean, the Shadow Shaman with the Jugger trying to bring down Alistam, as they still couldn't even make it happen with one of the classic combos that you'd see.
Yeah, I think just have Doppler beat DP mid.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you do that, you should win.
right. I mean, that's simple, right?
Big hands, big
Yeah.
big feet for Smacker to actually perform.
I think at the same we should actually be keeping quite a bit of eye on as well, and I challenge all the casters and analysts alike is to actually just see which side comes out with more last hits and experience in the mid lane and which team ends up winning. I think you'll obviously find there's a pattern there, but if it's like 100%, then it's a pretty scary pattern where I would expect it should be more along the sort of 60 percentile kind of thing, because obviously mid is quite important, but it'll be interesting to gauge how important it is to our South African sides here in particular. Yeah, but I think our teams are almost ready to go. So you're almost free of us for one more time. I think that.
Cue the Top Gun music.
Yeah, I can hear the sounds of war. It's actually you can hear the players loading in and the mics. So it's quite funny. So guess what? There it is. There it is. Wonderful. Early warning system. So let's go ahead and get on with this. So Trend Protector and Legion Commander banned out. Looks like someone's trying to do you guys a favor.
Look, it's
a little bit late.
Yeah,
so
it's
they'll
not
bring it up
33%
to.
I
anymore.
knew it was coming, guys. I knew
Yeah,
it was coming.
yeah. No, it was really popular. Okay.
I mean, with that one pick and ban. Now leapfrogging to
Okay,
two.
Dark's here. It's up there. IOs or Warlocks in the draft now.
Warlock is in the draft. So I almost feel like this is what it is now, right? And there we go. So
There's no.
All right. I mean,
Yeah.
guys, our job has just become so much easier.
do you want to try this? Like statistically, I actually want to talk about Nyx as well. Something interesting that I was chatting to somebody about outside. Lich is also quite an interesting one. But okay, so I was going to see if we could just like read the stats, but it's already sort of way off with the Lich and the Nyx Assassin being picked up. However, interestingly enough, I was talking to some guys who were suggesting that Nyx is actually one of the really good heroes of this patch, right? And interestingly enough, it doesn't seem to be getting a huge amount of love from our side at the moment. And let me see if I can find it. In fact, I do. What great eyes I have. So it has a 33% pick and ban rate.
Cool.
So it's been noticed, but not really getting a huge amount of love. So interesting to see it actually being picked up here. But yeah, Lich also coming out. This seems to be like an old South African favorite, right?
This reminds me a lot of Dota 1 days, how we spoke about it between games as well. Lich definitely one of the more picked as well as the Nyx Assassin. And, this kind of shows the essence of Pulse. They've been playing Dota for quite a long time. They've been known for long as well. But I think right now they're just picking heroes they're good at. But XTC showed no hesitation to pick up the Warlock as their first pick.
Doesn't Lich effectively get like a shadow buff in this patch? I mean, because you're denying the creeps before they even reach the wave.
You get the sacrifice. So I've actually got a question, which I'm not actually very clear on. So, Reigns, I've got a question for you. Now, with this whole extra deny XP gain, does the sacrifice from Lich actually benefit yourself if you sacrifice the creep?
It's still a deny.
So does it count as extra XP?
Yeah.
So you get your normal XP
Could be
for...
wrong. That's a very good question, actually. But I believe so, because it is still a deny, and you're still going to get the creep.
Deny, though, yeah? It doesn't count towards your tally.
Is it not anymore? It did.
It at the moment, I don't think it counts out towards your last hits denies.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
pretty sure of that. but I do think it uses the same mechanic. So I do think that that's why I think that is effectively like a shadow buff to Lich. And what I'm really interested to see is that this is the kind of hero that I think could really irritate a mid laner, because if you're able to, if you're able to just make a couple of movements towards the mid lane very early on, you can just get somebody to level 3 before their opponent's at level 2, and that is a big difference, right? Because the sort of almost the old school rule of thumb, which is still often applicable, is that you have you have fatal spells at level 3, level 1 not so much. So I don't know. I'm quite keen on this Lich because we've spoken a lot about it. Let's move this along. So. Reigns, why don't you take us through the bands and give us your thoughts on them?
Yeah, sure. So the Ursa, quite popular, if not 33 and 66, right? Because there's been this many games so far. But the Invoker has been played quite a bit as well. The Doxia, the Magnus, I think the games that he's been picked, they've won. And then the Slaughter, the IO as well, quite popular. So the bans from Pulse reflects on a lot of the heroes that's been picked already.
Oh yes, please.
And then,
thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, nothing else matters in the world.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. Look at that happy smile. Look how happy he is to be picked, guys.
Finally, I get to be picked. But yeah, these heroes remind me of Dota 1 a lot. It brings back memories.
Well, interestingly, I mean, there's actually quite a few heroes that are, I wouldn't say like only in Dota 2, right? But that I would almost say are like Dota 1 heroes in the sense that they're from like 5 points, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And these, okay, Jakir is not one of them. I was going to say these are all sort of really old school Dota 1
original,
heroes that I picked up. But yeah, look at him. Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is.
He looks like a happy chappy ready to give you a caustic finale.
Yeah. So they've got the. I think Pulse have got the structure that's needed to push out what cores they need to finish off the draft with, and also Jakiro, the 2 supports, and also Lifestealer. So. I don't know. They still have to pick an offlane in the mid. XTC Gaming.
What do you think XTC is going to pick up mid? Obviously, we always talk about the Lifestealer carry or the vessel that the Lifestealer is going to move around in. XTC's got a couple of options at the moment. Still got Storm, Quap, Puck. What are we looking at?
The problem is those are all Intel heroes that are effectively weak against Nyx Assassin.
No, I'm saying for XTC to actually pick up. We're talking about Pulse at the moment because it's their pick. I'm already looking ahead to XTC. I mean,
you're talking about the who's going to be the carrier for the lights.
Yes.
So the general kind of heroes like Storm Spirit that you mentioned, even the Queen of Pain, those guys or ladies often, they're generally Intel, right? And Nyx Assassin is really good against quite a few of those heroes. So, and effectively, you often find that your carrier is likely going to be a mid. Just by the nature of the heroes. So it's kind of awkward here for which carrier that XT go for, even if they bother to do so. Because you could just look at using like a Speedy Nyx. But the one thing I think that would be quite interesting is to run thinking if you... Because they don't have the offlane, right? And this is a little bit old school, but you could look at doing something like a Spirit Breaker, but I just don't see it working. Reigns?
Well, I can't see a Spirit Breaker in there. I mean, that just pushes back... it's like relying on Lifestealer to carry the supports of the team. But, I guess if Warlock plays mid, it's a possibility. But so far, I think it's a right call to get the likes of a Storm Spirit. But I think if they had a Magnus, it would have been better. Now that it's banned by Pulse, a smart move from them. The Troll as well, just to bring that out. So they banned the Magnus and bring out the Troll. It's not what we've seen this tournament so far, but Troll itself is pretty potent.
Now, the Troll being picked up, I've seen one or two of the teams actually pick up the Troll.
Oh my word!
Okay,
I'm loving this game so much.
Okay, but before we get to the Brewmaster, because there's also a massive change in the update that he's received. Just going back to the Troll, as soon as he activates his battle trance, all your allies are going to start right-clicking a lot quicker. Now, wouldn't you want to rather, as a team, couple that up with maybe already a quick right-clicker as opposed to going for a Sanking that generally has a slow attack speed, Nyx Assassin average attack speed, would you not want to rather couple it up with something that's got a little bit of a quicker attack speed and then Troll just like amplifies all of that?
I think they need to pick up like a hard hitter, like something that's really going to smack things very hard, and then maybe like a natural crit, maybe something like the Wraith King might work out here. Just anything that's...
What about a mid-PA?
Mid-PA could also work. It actually maybe makes a lot more sense now that I actually consider the draft, but there's one problem with all of that, Jabba. Ask
The
me what that
panda.
problem is. Yes, yeah, just ask me what that problem is.
What's the problem? Don't tell me the miss on Panda.
That's exactly what it is. Drunken
Was-
haze.
What was that?
Because this is the Brewmaster show now. And by the way, you see, I was looking for a strength hero that you can consider using as a lifesteal carrier, and that is a lifesteal carrier. We just don't see him anymore because, well, he's been out of the meta for so long. But he's actually a very powerful hero who is going to get up and Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
Ooh, still TA to come.
Okay.
So this is really
That's an
interesting.
offlane Panda.
Offlane Panda. I think that's what you wanted to see. Hey,
I think
Albert?
Skynet's actually going to play.
I mean,
Sky.
Skynet, I actually had an opportunity yesterday to chat to the guys
Yeah.
from XTC, and I said to him, listen, boys, is Brewmaster back? Skynet, I know you used to play quite a bit, and he
Out of the cards, right? Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
He said maybe, and yeah, we have it.
Show it's the way it's important. Every game's important. You got to pick out your best, hey? Yeah, so I like this lineup from XTC, won't lie. It's, to support Standard and Sorted. Really strong as well. I mean, we can't... There was no hesitation for the Warlock pick. Jakiro's always been really good. And then you have your cores there. And also, let's just see what Pulse Gaming has to show us. They have the Troll Warlord. Now, that's XTC is playing the TA and not Pulse. I want to see what they want to pick up. Oh, okay.
that's pretty interesting. So Razor's been changed effectively, so Static Storm follows the person he's linked to.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting because it does make him a lot more threatening as like trying to pick up a single hero, but Razor is like that hit or miss. He's either there, or he's not, and I don't know about this one, guys.
It'll be... It's a nice hero to play against TA. Especially
What about a
it's
Viper?
Quite annoying.
What about a Viper? I mean,
And it's too late for Viper now.
I know, but it's
Six pick.
put Jabba in as reserve. I'll pick
that
the
moment
Viper.
where like the ground opens up and just a new Pulse player just emerges.
Yeah.
And it's let's go Donny. Why not? You know,
Yeah.
Donny
Oh, yeah.
arrives and suddenly
Bring him
you
in.
know. It becomes a little interesting. But guys, would you agree with that? I mean, is it just because it's late, or would you agree that this is probably one of the most exciting drafts that we've had so far?
It is.
Probably
It
very
is.
different. Probably really different from what we've seen.
I agree.
Great.
Like Lich with the Brewmaster ult. I don't know. That could actually be a little bit threatening.
Yeah. Well, on that note, guys, I think it's about time we throw it over to our faithful casters on the other side. Will of course be Scarpy and Ritz. Take it away, guys. Give us a good one.
Well, guys, welcome back. This is, of course, XTC versus Pulse. Quite an interesting draft we have here, Scarpy.
Yeah, we were discussing it along with our panelists, and it's interesting. I definitely feel like there is a bit of an edge once again for XTC, and Pulse, they have their work set out for them for sure.
This last pick for Smacker, if they would have picked up the Queen of Pain, I think it would have rounded up their draft. The silence, getting that early Orchid up, getting the tick damage off. Sure, up against the Lifestealer, you can't really do much, but against everyone else, you can blow up two heroes very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I really think a Queen of Pain with the Orchid as well as a Veil would have been able to take care of the Warlock as well as the Jakiro. In most cases, in a team fight, your Warlock and your Jakiro will be in a very similar position.
Yeah.
And I don't like the Razor. I really don't. The Razor pick threw me off. The Queen of Pain would have been perfect. The extra attack speed coming through from the Troll, everything just, in my opinion, would have been a lot better.
This is one of the games where I can't wait to get to the end of the game and run over to the Pulse guys and ask them.
Why no Quap?
No, just the reasoning for this pick, because it's interesting to me. I can't reason it, but I'm sure they have reasoning. Surely they've got pretty good minds when it comes to Dota. So I do think that they could potentially give me an answer as to what.
So with the
reasoning
Razor up
is.
against the Lifestealer dealer, you know, drain his damage, but then you have the TA. If you drain the TA going into meld, he still gets the meld strike off.
Yeah.
And he still gets that bonus damage off.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure. Like old school TI2, TI3, Razor was always picked to counter Lifestealer. I don't feel that countering the Lifestealer here is that important because you do have Aghanim. Depending on how you itemize Aghanim here up on the Troll, I honestly think that they don't need a second counter to the Lifestealer if you itemize correctly.
Yeah, I can only agree with you there. I think the Troll, he's gonna have an interesting time, and that should have been an obvious ward there for Depi to scout out. But Aghanim, he's in the mid lane, so the safe lane Razor, it's okay. He's gonna be able to zone out Skynet pretty decently, but Skynet's also gonna make his life a little bit of misery. with that constant drunken haze, just meaning no matter how much damage you steal from me, you're not going to be able to use it. So good luck to you, my friend.
Definitely. So looking at this mid matchup though, Aghanim versus Depi, who do you think has the advantage here?
In the mid lane, I feel this should largely go Depi's way. TA is just such a strong laner in general, very good at denying, and Devin pointed it out, or Halbert pointed out in on the couches there that we should keep the casting couches. We should keep an eye on the last hits and see if there's a potential winner from the opening stages of the CS, and it's going to be something interesting. I'm going to definitely keep an eye on it. I think it was something
currently sitting 9-4 up for the TA versus 4-1 up on Aghanim. So Aghanim's struggling already, and the problem with a TA is if you snowball, I'll put money on any game that a TA snowballs that the TA's team will win.
Yeah, I think TA once another thing is if they start stacking up the jungle for him, or if he stacks it for himself, that's just going to mean he's going to get this huge injection of money and just completely grow and grow and grow. So the laning stages, if they go too well for Depi here, there are potentially some problems.
I really like this set coming up from the Lifestealer, with a tail and everything covered in armor.
Yeah, the Immortal, yeah. It's really, really nice. Yeah, I can agree, for sure.
But so far, no first blood, 2 minutes in. I mean, we're expecting a lot of action, but I think it will be a little bit delayed, and then all of a sudden, all hell is going to break loose. Your prediction for this game, though, XTC versus Pulse, who do you think is going to win with this current draft?
Well, I'm definitely not going to go back on my word. I think XTC just have the draft that I can reason. Unfortunately, I can't really reason Pulses. That's why I can't wait until the end so I can get their reasoning from them. So with that in mind, I definitely feel like XTC's draft seems more understandable to me.
And it might just be something that we're missing that the Pulse guys are saying, no, this is why we're doing it. I mean, that happens. But, okay, let's look at this. It's a dual lane towards the bottom lane. It is, of course, Doppler and Deathy. Quite an interesting one. The mixed assassin sometimes being run solo duel, but just trying to protect him a little bit and trying to put a little bit more harassment up onto the Lifestealer.
Yeah, it's sort of they want to try and punish Adam. They want to make sure he doesn't get too much. They're going to deny creep with the Lich, of course, with the sacrifice. So according to my understanding, the sacrifice doesn't give the bonus XP from each sacrifice.
Is it?
So yeah, from my understanding. Again, that could be very wrong, as this patch is pretty new. So maybe I'll keep an eye on it, see if I can identify it, but it will be a bit tough to say. But I mean, they do want to punish Adestam in any way possible, but that's why they throw this dual lane together so there's not too much absorption while the Jakiro stacks for the TA.
Yeah. Sand King sitting on that level 2 mark. He does, of course, have boots up already, with Caustic Finale as well as a Burrow Strike, so no Sandstorm Daru just yet. And everyone just playing a little bit more passive. Aghanim does not have the access, does not have access to the mid-run or the mid-shrine just yet, so he's trying to pull and delay as much as possible, but he has to be careful for the wraparound, and that's actually what's coming up here now. Dota and Die, he's here towards the middle lane. They are going to try and catch Aghanim, and I think this might just be the first blood.
Yeah, he
if
definitely
they do get him, I think Dota and Die will scout it out there, so Aghanim just going to chill up here towards the backside.
Yeah, so of course they switched up their roles, Aghanim in the mid lane, and they're having Smack on the Razor in the safe lane. And I am intrigued to see what the difference is going to be here for the two of them, how this game, the outcome is going to be. However, I mean, Depi is just absolutely crushing the lane so far, to be fair. The troll is sort of forced into the jungle situation. He didn't even get the stack off. Things are just not going well for Aghanim here.
Double the last hits up on the Templar Assassin versus the troll. So this TA, do we actually see any kind of further stack? So there's one stack up already on the Ancients here for the TA. Oh, wait, Aghanim might actually drop from this. Oh, unfortunately not. The misses coming through here from the troll.
Yeah, that's just one of the strengths he has. Because of the small range Templar has, he shouldn't suffer a death, at least in a 1v1 situation. But if a rotation comes in, potentially he could die there. But his axes should keep him alive from the huge amount of damage that Depi could give him.
Double damage spam, or the double damage side blades up onto the Troll Warlord. just did so much damage.
Yeah, and Smacker is going to scout out these huge stacks, actually, as he rotates around onto the Jakiro here.
And is this going to be for the Templar Assassin or for the lifestealer, do you think?
It's surely for the TA. The TA can just do it so early that they can start stacking up again, and then the lifestealer can go and
Is that actually her blink up just with those stacks?
Well, it depends. He might even just go for Deso. If he gets it up so quickly, Deso's not a bad option. A lot of people do consider that first. So, I mean, yes, it's going to mean item progression pretty quick. I don't think Blink or Deso exactly, because the camps did slightly get nerfed, but he'll be very close.
Well, let's have a look quickly at the net worth right now. Moving over 2,800 in favor up for Depi, of course, on the middle lane. And then 2,400, not actually that far behind for the Razor safe lane. And yeah, Smacker actually not doing too badly for himself. But he has a complete free farm lane now.
Yeah, that's one of the things. It's the Brew throwing out the Drunken Haze means he's going to be slowed with the unstable current. So being there is sort of a high risk for him because he's going to be slowed down. Potentially good rotation could be his demise. So him falling back into the jungle is fine, but Skynet
we might actually see our first blood coming through towards the bottom lane. Deathy, I'm hyping it up just for a couple of right clicks. Absolutely nothing happened there.
Yeah, it seems to be very passive, the laning stages, and that always will favor the team who's doing better in the laning period.
Ooh, well, Smacker's busy farming up one of these stacks with his ultimate coming through. Of course, he does have a plasma field if he needs to use it, but he might be... No, I think he's still okay, but the rotation... Do they actually... No, they don't scout smart. They don't see anything, and the rest of his team's actually going to come here. I like this from Pulse. It's denying so much gold to the side of XTC, but of course they are going to get scouted out. DotA and DotA might be in a bit of trouble. Here comes the TP here in from the Warlock. Warlock doesn't have level 6, activating the shrine up, and they want to go for more. DotA and DotA is still busy healing up. They're healing up and starting doing so much damage. Fady, will they actually be able to get the kill? There you go. Smacker getting the first blood, and he has stolen 112 damage. He wants to go for more. That's a double kill up for Smacker. More supports coming in for the side of XTC. Smacker does not have... He actually does have a TP if he wants to try and just force this TP out. Will he actually be able to get the TP off in time? No, Skynet gets the kill. But still, a 2-for-1 special, including a first blood.
Yeah, I think...
2-for-2 special.
2-for-2, yeah. That's the healing word, the shadow word, apologies, did catch a kill there. So Doombunny will be happy with that, even though he did take a tumble.
And once again, fighting on top of his shrine. Not always advisable, and if that shrine wasn't there, I think that fight would have just gone even more in favor of Pulse.
Yeah, very quick rotations from XTC. As soon as they spotted something, it was instantly a TP on that shrine, and they managed to at least hold on to that fight. That fight could have, like you say, could have definitely given a good advantage to Pulse. But a little bit of space bought here for the Troll to sort of get a bit of CS, considering how his laning stage has gone, but still dramatically behind that of Depi. So,
did they actually manage to clear out? I think they managed to clear out that entire camp.
Yeah.
Or was that the side of...
Yeah, Depi came and just mopped that up. Yeah. So he's finished his trades. He's looking to get that Desolator first item. So
full Ring of Aquila up on Depi as well. Just helping boosting his armor. And towards the bottom lane, once again, Deathy sitting on level 6. So, of course, he does have that Vendetta if they want to try and move around and kill someone. But who do you kill with the Vendetta except for one of the supports?
Yeah, that's one of the things. It's probably going to have to be a support. Oh, mid lane.
Oh, Templar Assassin is being engaged upon here right now. He does not have a refraction charge or any refraction just yet. But there's an ice path catching two heroes. Depi might actually survive from this. Oh, the plasma field coming in from Smacker. Just barely missing up Depi. And is this going to be a pusher for the middle tier 1, or are they just going to back off?
Yeah, I think they're going to back themselves off potentially. Although there's 2 points in Liquid Fire here. They could put a bit of pressure onto it. But these two supports are going to be happy with getting a little bit of farm and XP for themselves, seeing that they were highly contested. Shrine's going to be popped here for the side of Pulse, and they're going to also utilize this to be a smoke right underneath the ward.
Surprise.
Yeah, they
And I'm sorry, but if Adesam gets caught out here, the stun misses. Deathy misses the stun. And that just means Adesam gets out of there scot-free. I was so surprised. Adesam was still farming here. He saw them smoke right underneath a ward, right where he was.
Yeah.
If that stun hit, he would have died.
That was odd from Adesam. He tried to clear the camp very quickly. I don't know unless he missed it entirely. But I suppose Deathy, unfortunately, missing that stun. Probably not what they were hoping for, but...
very uncharacteristic of Deathy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, he gets away with murder, pretty much. He got all that farm, and he walks it off, and a big rotation. Smoke wasted. So, again, Pulse just having a small negative impact. But, I mean, the net worth shows no difference. Absolutely no difference at all.
Skynet might be, well, he actually wraps around going in onto Deathy right now. Deathy gets slowed up by Adestam. They want to try and counter. There's a turnaround at this point. There you go. The Brewmaster Primal Split is actually up. Who are they going to focus? Who are they going to turn around on? At this point, it's chaos. They actually don't know who to target, who to focus. And they might just want to turn around and go onto the Earth Spirit. The Earth Spirit is, of course, where you come back up on the Brewmaster, but no kills, no deaths. Like I said, very scrappy fight.
Yeah, very, very scrappy. Skynet was sort of in a bit of a shambles there, unsure what to do. But, I mean, I suppose they forced out an ulti from the Brew. They'll be happy with that Pulse. They know that's down for a decent amount of time. They could potentially even go for a bit of a push here. Smacker's playing very aggressive here.
Well, let's have a look coming in right now. Adestam shows himself here towards the tree line of XTC's Tier 1 tower.
Yeah.
Are we going to see any kind of further rotations? We do see a Nyx Assassin coming in with a Vendetta. But let's have a look here. DotA and I, he is being leached of all of his HP, of not all of his HP, all of his damage right now. And that's a lot. 152 damage actually stolen. Smacker wants to go in for more. There's an ice pot that actually scouts, or that actually catches them. Macropie coming down. The rock actually gets dropped straight onto the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin drops. Smacker's in a lot of trouble. He is going to be the second one to fall. And the ultimate coming to you from Doppler, unfortunately, is on a lot of creeps. Bouncing back and forth. Adestam might actually be in a lot of trouble. Play does not bounce back to him.
Yeah, that was a bit close there for Adestam. But, yeah, the 6 was picked up by the Warlock, and I don't think they scattered it out. They didn't check it. And he just dropped that on them as soon as they overextended. They got the Jakiro kill. It sort of like baited them under the tower, and XTC just...
That was very well played, though.
Yeah.
I mean, let's quickly have a look at the replay, and then we can see the positioning of that entire fight. It was just insane.
Yeah.
So moving through there, getting that ice path of actually getting the block, giving enough time. The Nyx Assassin, of course, gets scouted out because it is within the tree line. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. The rock was dropped, the Macropire, and it's just the Templar Assassin there going ham, doing a lot of damage there.
Yeah, that Macropire was essential as it broke down the trees, so they had very good vision of everything that was going on. Smacker playing once again aggressive on Adestam, who's going to have 0 damage. He'll
136 damage stolen,
yeah,
which does help him, I think, push out this tower just a little bit. But, well, mid lane, we might actually see some kind of engagement coming through here. There's a stun up on the Troll Warlord. Troll Warlord taking quite a bit of damage. Of course, the Brewmaster is still chasing him, wanting to go for more. Another stun to follow up. Are they actually going to commit to this? No, they will decide to back off.
Yeah, and actually they'll find a kill onto Deppy instead. Fatty with a great rotation, and now actually Skynet, he's got no ulti. They're turning around on him. This is a huge problem. Is there a stun? Deathy, he will finally land it as well as a Burrow Strike, and
they got the bottom tier 1 tower as well, so that's 2 heroes and a tower. Well, Pulse has finally showed up.
Not too shabby there, Nige. That's looking a lot better. They've done they definitely have the conversation I was talking about. We need to make a change. This is clearly not working. They made a change. They've gone for something unorthodox, and it's paying off. I think Smacker is just thriving in this sort of aggressive role. Sort of.
I still would have liked the Queen of Pain.
I can agree. But it's not the end of the world. I feel like the Troll mid is still okay. He had a very hard time. But at the same time, Razor has farmed up an absolute storm. He's keeping up with that TA, considering TA has been farming stacks at the same time.
Well, they're unfortunately not stealing enough. The Static Link, I don't think, stole anything there. The big thing, though, is the Razor is being played as a zoning core.
Yeah.
And, we wanted to know why the Razor pick. And I'm still not convinced, but it seems to be working. It seems to be just zoning the heroes a little bit, actually forcing the side of XTC to play in a manner that they want to play.
Yeah, and Deathy, he'll find a kill onto Doom Bunny there. That's quite nice. If you can shut down that Warlock, if he doesn't get farm, that's always quite a nice thing to have. So, and Deathy also getting close, in fact, having enough of that Hanamitis now, which is going to help him out a lot.
Templar Assassin getting the Aegis. Adestam here on the bottom lane might be in a bit of trouble. Doppler is coming through. They do not have anything further to try and deal with this. Is there going to be a stun? Stun!
He's raged. There was no stun. So he'll be able to TP on out safely.
Well, stun and then just say, oh, he was raged. Okay, sorry, I tried.
Yeah, that was, I suppose, a bit of something. But they are going to put a bit of pressure here, so that's, in fact, a big success for them. The tier 2 tower could be taking a bit of chip damage, and in fact, quite a decent amount of pressure over onto XTC at the stage.
Yeah, well, Pulse looking pretty decent right now. The net worth is actually in favor of Pulse, but with like 500. But it's still in favor of Pulse.
Yeah, it's a pretty insignificant number, I feel.
Pulsating game.
But it's far better than the previous game. This is definitely going to be a decision with a couple of big fights. Roshan is going to be a highly contested. So we're all looking forward to those sort of situations.
Top lane, they're actually deciding to turn around and go in onto the Lifestealer. Lifestealer might be, well, they actually want to go in onto Aghanim. Aghanim might be in a lot of trouble right now. That's a kill going the way of Aghanim, of Adestam. Onto Aghanim now. Are we going to see any further kind of wraparounds? There you go. The blinks there forward. Unfortunately, onto Fady, but Fady just gets the stun off. There's the rock being dropped. They do manage to get the one. They blow him up. And I'm not quite sure if this rock drop is worth it.
Yeah, that's a big expense trying to save the life there of Skynet, and that's going to cost him a very big cooldown.
And they wanted to turn around. Adestam once again staying a little bit far off, but I mean, this is all that he has to do. Yeah, there's the ultimate flying through here from Doppler, and Adestam might just be in a lot of trouble right now, trying to go in onto him. The stun is there from Fady, the damage is there from Deathy, and they managed to get the kill. But towards the bottom lane, the tier 3 towers have been actually taking a lot of damage right now. Razor, he's in a lot of trouble. Razor's going to die once again. Dota and Dai getting the insane ice balls coming through. I think he will pay with his life, unfortunately, but nope. Deathy missing his stun once again towards the back line. Aghanim coming in, getting a kill. Deppy wanting to go man mode up against Fady. Fady's still alive. They're trying to get the rages or the splash damage coming through from the side blades, but they do manage to pick him off. Are they going to be able to get this secondary kill? He gets stunned up instantly. That's it. He's down.
Yeah, there's a sentry there.
He's down.
There's no way he survives that one. But he's not out of stand. Yeah. He's not getting out of that.
He's not out of stand. I actually was not even aware they were busy pushing like a tier 3 tower, and a quarter of the damage has already been done on that tower.
Yep.
Sure, they managed to get a lot from that. I think it was like 3 kills in total. And 900 though in net worth in favor of XTC, even though Paul's got a couple of kills.
Yeah, it's a pretty big problem. They did take a tier 2 tower, I believe, and then they still push into the tier 3. And that's the Desolator up on the TA that just does so much damage to buildings, as well as having the extra attack speed from his level 10. He really does beat up buildings very, very quickly, as well as a Jakiro. A Jakiro very, very well known as a big tower pusher. So
having those two moving together is insane.
Yeah, Pulse need to be much more vigilant of these situations. Yes, you find a couple of good kills, but you can't afford to take too much more damage on the high ground like that.
Well, Templar Assassin, plus 25 attack speed, plus 6 to all stats. Going more for the tanky frontliner instead of going, well, the evasion. Do you really need the evasion up against only one, well, semi-2 right clickers?
Well, Troll, if you can evade a bash, it could make a bit of a difference.
Yeah,
but I think
your stats.
I think the stats is for sure better, especially now that strength has...
Brewmaster might actually run straight in onto Smacker. Smacker four-staffs himself. The Blake is there forward, but unfortunately, everything was thrown, and well, the first kill is going to go the way of Pulse. They want to turn around, going in onto Doppler. Doppler's already thrown his ultimate at a stamp, doing a lot of damage at this point, stunning, or they're actually managed to stun up Smacker, but Smacker, well, he has 119 stolen damage. The rock gets dropped. Smacker's in a lot of trouble right now. They're turning around. He's actually still alive. He is still alive. I don't know how. I don't know where. Now they want to turn around onto Adestam. Adestam's taking a lot of damage himself. But Deppy is just there taking and doing all the damage that's needed. He has not been touched at this point. Nyx Assassin managing to get a stun for once. And 3 heroes down for the side of Pulse. A very, very, very scrappy fight. I actually can't wait for the replay, and it will be coming up soon because I want to actually see what exactly happened there.
Yeah, that was absolute shambles, in fact. They were all over the place. But Deppy sort of being that siege cannon, he just sits in the middle there just dealing crit after crit. And And I think XTC did a great job of keeping him around in that area.
Let's have a quick look at that replay so that we can see to jump up onto Smacker right there, but Smacker manages to force off himself away. This was a perfect disengage, a perfect engagement. Right there, they had to sack the Lich. Lich had already popped his everything. They had to back off. It would have been a worthy trade, but then they decided to stay there. They decided to fight, which is a good turn. But the problem is, if you have the Templar Assassin that is doing all of the damage and you aren't focusing her down, you aren't doing anything to the TA, she is going to completely decimate, demolish, and destroy your team.
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with you there. And the TA is hitting ridiculously hard. They need to be very careful. But Vendetta, Adestam's in trouble.
Can they actually get this kill? There you go. I don't care, Doppler. That ulti is worth it. It did not even hit onto Adestam, but it is worth it.
Yeah, there was no way that they were stopping that from happening. But finally getting a kill into Adestam. He's been looking problematic. He's started twice now, but I mean, he's got Hand of Midas. If you can keep him down for decent periods of time and control him a bit.
So only dying twice so far in 2 games, that is decent. And if I'm not mistaken, when Adestam was part of APG, didn't he have the highest KDA? Oh, on that note, quickly, Dota and die, buddy. It's not Dota and die, it is Dota just die. However, they wanted to turn around. They want to go in onto Depi right now. Depi was forced off the way. Agna wants to go in. He wants to turn around. But unfortunately, they're splitting the fights up. And if you split the fights up, that is actually what XTC wants. There's a full whiff up on the Sand King ultimate as well. I'm trying to zoom out to try and actually catch everything that's happening here. But this is in favor of XTC. They want to take these scrappy fights, and they want more. They want to go around and turn onto the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin does manage to get a good stun off, but no Spike Carapace up just yet. Oh, there you go. He hits the Spike Carapace. He's still alive. He is busy dodging. Oh, check that range. What the actual what happened there? You know, Smacker is stealing a lot of damage. He has actually stolen 133. He's turning around, going onto Skynet, but there, the rock is actually dropped. They want to turn around onto Aghanim. Aghanim gets forced off the way. Smacker might be in trouble right now. XTC, they are just pushing and unrelentless right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just keeping a lot of pressure there. Rock dropped, though. They didn't get anything out of it, but sort of showing a pretty decent stance. They might even just use this rock to farm up the jungle or something like that. But the biggest problem here is the Templar Assassin. We spoke about it early on, that once he starts to snowball out of control, it's going to be a difficult thing to deal with. Razor doesn't have that effect. Even though he was keeping up with the farm, he doesn't have the same effect that Depi has with that instant amount of burst damage and then ability to take buildings.
And burst is the name of the game when you're playing up against something like a lifestealer that will just lifesteal his way back. Burst is, oh wait, there's a blink forward here by Skynet. Unfortunately, he has to run away. Smacker, he wants to turn around. They want to go in for more. There you go. Doppler gets a good ultimate coming through. But unfortunately, it flies to all the creeps. That is not what they wanted. The force stop comes through from Smacker. He wants to turn around. Adestam is in a lot of trouble, but he's still actually going to make it out alive. Depi is just controlling everyone up, blinking forward, doing all of the damage. Come on. Give Depi the triple kill. Give him the ultra kill. Give him the rampage and then give him the GG.
Yeah, what? Depi is just standing in the middle of these team fights. If you don't want to kill me, it's fine. I'll kill all of you. And they chase after Adestam, and we know from experience now, Adestam is unkillable. Absolutely.
Why are you trying to kill the unkillable? The person that had the highest KDA, even like after games that he didn't play anymore when he left APG. The guy's positioning, and it's not luck. Anyone that says that is luck, it is skill. Adestam, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. It's like we were talking about earlier when the draft was on. We were saying, here's the beautiful mind of Dota. He's got the insight that we all wish we had, and he's just been playing out of his mind in the series at least. So. There we go. Roshan, that's going to be Aegis up on the Templar Assassin, who's almost got a BKB. And, I mean, for someone who's struggling to kill, once he has that BKB up, problems.
This all started over here, when Pulse managed to get a quick kill, but they could not capitalize on it. Then once again here. Oh, actually, it was roughly around here, but everything started splitting up. Then the next engagement was here, and XTC is doing a phenomenal job to split the fights up, to not keep the fight together. It was very unlucky coming through from the Lich. The Lich ultimate bounces went straight to the creeps and to the Warlock Rock.
Yeah.
If that was thrown at the perfect time, the perfect moment, everyone was bunched up. It was just unlucky coming through from Doppler. But I have to say, XTC, they're splitting up the fight. They are causing the chaos, and it is Skynet also. He jumps in, he crushes, and then he runs away. He's like, I've done my job.
Yeah.
Because then some people chase him, other people don't know what to do, and it's just causing that chaos factor, which Paul doesn't know how to deal with right now.
Yeah, and he's going to get the Shivas up, so he's going to have more of an impact on these team fights as it progresses. So I think Skynet, I mean, he's had a tough time. He's 1-3, but he's had very big impacts on these team fights.
yes.
He's really throwing out the tornadoes on the right heroes. He's throwing the rock at the right people. He's just been doing a pretty good job. And here we go. High ground under siege.
Deppy pushing up. He actually blinks forward straight. He wants to go in for more, but the stun is actually onto Templar Assassin. He, of course, does have the Aegis of the Immortals. So can they burst him down? Using his BKB, quite surprising there, before the Aegis gets popped. And Smacker wants to come in. He wants to go in for more. They do manage to get the stun onto the Brewmaster. Brewmaster does have Primal Split if he has to get away. And they decide to just back off. They did get the tier 2 tower bottom, if I am not mistaken.
No, that bottom was already... Oh, you mean... Oh, yes, okay. That's quite nice.
The Dire got the tower there, and then they TP'd back. So Paul's not literally learning from the mistakes. And I like seeing this. I like seeing this in a team that knows they're a little bit behind, even though the score is even. They know they're behind. And then they decide, listen, we've just tried twice. They have outmaneuvered us during a fight, which is weird to say because normally you try and outmaneuver a lifestealer, but okay. Let's try something different. They push out bottom. They allow the semi-push to come in top. They get the tower, then they back off. Very well played from Pulse.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean... We look over at the side of Pulse, like you say, they've sort of consolidated that. They've made some errors and they're fixing it. That's exactly what we want to see from a team of this caliber. But on the same page, you look over at XTC, and I don't see them wanting to slow down. They still have the Aegis. I think they're just going to wait for BKBs to be back off cooldown, make sure everyone's ready for this. But, I mean, this is pretty much going to be a story of how well can you defend. You've got Lich ulti, you've got Epicenter, you've got Nyx. If the Nyx can get an Ags up potentially, that could be great for the high ground
We haven't
defense.
seen a big Epicenter yet.
Yeah, actually there was just one whiffed one, and that was just because there was just a crazy blink out from the Templar Assassin with his refract up.
Well,
he didn't take
smoke
damage.
is up right now. It does get popped, and instantly Smacker backs out.
Oh, I actually thought there was someone invis there, so that was quite a decent amount expended. Net worth advantage reduced ever so slightly, but
by what's it, 50 or 75? Thank
yeah,
you.
50
Thank you.
plus the plus.
Oh,
the
no,
plus.
Doppler. No, Doppler. Why are you there? What?
What? He's
Nighttime vision, boys. Nighttime vision wins games. I have absolutely no idea. He doesn't have a TP, so keep that in mind.
he looks like this is not where I parked my car.
Yeah.
Or this is definitely not where I parked my car.
Passing his ultimate just to get the creep wave down. I do agree 100% with that. It's only an 80-second cooldown, so just making sure that they can delay the push, because all they have to do now is, well, actually, there's one creep. There's one creep that they're trying to protect with their lives, but it's not going to work. Yeah. Smacker getting a big chunk of damage, and yeah, well, they might want to turn around and go in for more. Jakira taking a lot of damage, but the blink forward is shared by Deppy, turning around, going in onto that tier 3 tower. I like this. Deppy just deciding, screw everything, screw everyone. I'm turning around. I'm going for the racks, and he decides to turn around now, but the troll ultimate's coming through. The rock does get dropped onto 4 heroes. They're trying to do as much damage as possible. Aghanim does have a double damage ruin. Can they actually do more? Can they do anything right now? The buyback is there from the Sand King. Sand King does have an epicenter. If he wants to come in, move forward and do it, use it. But XTC decides to back off. They managed to get a... Oh, wait, no. Aghanim might be in quite a bit of trouble. That was a fake back, everyone. That was a fake back. Aghanim popping up his BKB. They have to try and turn around. The epicenter was used, but unfortunately, it was not enough to actually kill anyone. They do manage to kill someone towards the backside or the backline, but Deppy, he's still moving forward. He wants to go in for more, and there you go. He just goes in for melt. He wants to go for anything extra. He has his refraction up, but it gets taken instantly down. Wow, so much happened there, but there's no more damage dealers up for the side of Pulse.
Yeah, they chased him out of the base, and then XTC said, "Wait, guys, we can turn around."
Yeah.
And it was
Why
sort of like
are we running?
it was like seeing a spider in the bathroom. Nope, and they're running back, and they just got caught out by surprise. And yeah, now we're gonna lose the lane of racks. Buyback was forced as well, so this is really looking a bit bleak now for
That's the
Pulse.
problem with the troll. It doesn't matter how much evasion you have, how much whatever you have. If that TA hits, the TA hits like a truck.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big problem, and TA is. I mean, Deppy's just playing a great series. I think all round we can say XTC have been doing a great performance, but there has been definite individual performances coming out, and Deppy, I mean, performing very well with Adestam, and I mean, Doom Bunny's rock there was beautiful. That was a four-man
Four
rock.
heroes. And he literally cost everything. He hit everything. He hit his fatal bonds onto 4 heroes, dropped the rock. He has a solo crest. But look at the fantasy points quickly, just for interest sake. 16.6 up for the Chikiro, and then the next two are actually on the side of Pulse.
That's some interesting stuff.
That is some interesting stuff. We should actually probably...
Do we have player cards?
No, we don't. We might actually see an engagement coming through. Are they going to be able to kill the Nyx Assassin? There is no vision up. Nyx Assassin, well, he forces himself out, blinks away further. And he is... Okay, no. Brewmaster wants to chase. Is he going to... No.
Yeah, so I think there's a BKB up now for Smacker. This can make a little bit of a difference in these team fights if he can just run around freely and make sure he has his Eye of the Storm up.
But no buyback.
Yeah, more often than not, you do go for your BKB when instead of buyback because you would rather defend successfully with a BKB than buyback and then still die and then not have a BKB.
But if he gets caught out now, that could be game.
He needs to be careful, but he needs this BKB to make sure that they have a chance at defending the high ground successfully.
But what does the BKB actually stop them?
So I think, okay, the rock is, it's going to be these ice paths. These ice paths have been great, and then also the Brewmaster has been kiting him constantly with these Brewlings, throwing him up in a tornado, and it's just an absolute nuisance. So I think it's essential for him to sort of say, okay, this Brewmaster is such a major issue, I need this BKB.
We see the entire side of Pulse wrapping around. They actually do scout out Doom Bunny right now. Doom Bunny, are they going to be able to get anything? There's the stun. The ultimate also flying through from Doppler to just make sure.
Yeah, just in case the stun wasn't on time, he was hoping to get the mini stun proc. But I think they would have actually landed late. But it doesn't matter. They secure a kill for themselves, maybe buying themselves a little bit extra time. That was rock off cooldown, so potentially now the side of XTC are going to say, okay, well, let's give it the good 30 seconds, potentially a minute, just to the walking distance before we even consider another high ground push. So buying a bit of extra time to pulse there.
21,000 net worth up on Deppy versus 15,000 up on Adestam, 13,000 up on Aghanim. 21,000.
Yeah, so he's going to get the Orchid and then into the Bloodthorn, which is, well, a big problem for the Troll. That's also now another good reason to have BKBs. Troll does have a BKB up, so if that BKB is down, he's dead. No. Absolutely.
He used it once in the previous fight, but that was extremely defensively. And let's see what XTC decide to do. Are they just going to wait up for the next rush? Which is actually, by the way, surprise, surprise, coming up within the next couple of seconds.
Well, there he is.
Or within the next second.
Yeah, so there he is up. I think they could potentially be looking in this direction. I think there's surely going to be some sort of defense coming out from Pulse here. They do have the capability. They have the spells to do so. Epicenter as well as the Chain Frost in a confined space like this is a problem. However, Deppy can do this by himself, and the rest of the team can pretty much just sit around him and defend him. So it seems like they've actually backed out. They haven't even scattered it out, so there's nothing they're going to do to stop this. Deppy's going to do this very quickly.
Yep. This will, of course, go the way of Deppy himself, and they will push towards probably the middle lane racks. And get it, there's, of course, a cheese on the ground. Who picked up what? Deppy decided, no, I want the Aegis and the cheese. I am greedy, screw you. But then he's like, okay, I understand. Oh, no, was given to
Doom Bunny.
Doom Bunny.
Yeah. So the Warlock, they want to make sure he gets a rock down.
No. Who has it?
Doom Bunny, the Warlock has it.
No.
Oh, he ate it. What?
No. Dota and DotA has it.
Dota and DotA has it.
Yeah,
Okay.
they like split it up. But there's the blink forward going in onto Smacker right now. The edge of the ice path actually catches him out. Now there's the macro pie just laying down everything. The Shrine Walls actually popped. BKB is up on Smacker trying to steal as much damage as possible. 140, but once again the rock gets dropped onto 2 heroes. They're trying to turn around, going in onto Templar Assassin. But the ice path once again just completely blocking them off. The ultimate's flying through from the Lich. Lich's ultimate's trying to do as much as possible. Aghanim, he's going right click, left click, right click, left click, trying to do everything he can. But the blink forward, they are actually winning this fight at this point. 3 heroes down. I have no idea how they're winning this fight. What happened there? I actually want to see, but Deppy, wait, there is a Aegis of the Immortal up on him. Will they actually be able to catch him out? I know they want to. I know they're pushing. They're force-stopping. They're blinking. They're doing everything. But Deppy just going up towards the bottom side. So actually very well played there by Deppy to get out.
Yep.
So there's actually going to be a very long replay that's going to be coming in here. So we can actually try and follow and see exactly what happened.
Yep.
So the blink in there was the Lifestealer bomb actually coming out a little bit slow. Forced off, he does actually get caught out in the ice path and the macro pyre. They do manage to actually pop the shrine up there. Everything's still looking okay here for the side of XTC. The rock gets dropped, everyone is slowed up, but this is sort of where everything starts happening. Nyx Assassin getting an insane stun off, and they just haven't been able to kill off Aghanim. And Aghanim is just chipping towards the backside, chipping up. Another stun is basically going to come through here. TA, for some reason, blinked away there. I think TA should have stood and fought. She did have the Aghanim Scepter, and as soon as she left, the side of Pulse just started pushing forward because there's no Deppy, there's no TA.
Yeah.
She still had half HP.
There were 2 instrumental players in that. I think Smacker, he was on the backlines there. We didn't see him in that replay, but he stole a lot of damage and he just got rid of the Jakiro. So Jakiro couldn't potentially get a second ice path down. But then other than that, in the main fight, Deathy did a great job at sort of slowing things down. He kept on throwing out, just constantly throwing out Impale, Mana Burn,
Aghanim, just as they say, you have he BKBs. He might actually be out of this.
Oh, he doesn't have a blink dagger though, and this...
Deathy might actually be there to try and help him out, just to lay down cover fire. He gets thrown up in the air. Let's see if Aghanim is actually going to be engaged upon. He gets thrown up in the air again, a little bit longer. There's the force off. He actually gets silenced up. Are they going to be able to do anything? There's an epicenter coming through. Actually doing a lot of damage here for the side of Pulse. No one has dropped it. It was actually Aghanim. He dropped it. He's going to be coming in. A big buyback coming through from him. Brewmaster might be in a lot of trouble, being stunned up right now. Are they going to turn around? They jump in onto the Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin might be in a lot of trouble right now. She does have the Aegis of the Immortal. She does not get a counter kill, but here comes Adestam going right-clicking up against the Razor. Razor might actually drop from this, and Templar Assassin just doing so much. All of a sudden, XTC, they're turning around. Deppy moves forward, gets another kill going up there. That is going to be a triple kill for Deppy. Can anyone stop this guy on a Templar Assassin? Come on. Blinking forward once again. He just wants to go for more kills. Nearly gets another one.
Oh.
Ultra kill, he got it. They're going in for the Rampage. Come on, get this Rampage up for Deppy. Is he going to be able to get it? This will be the first Rampage of the tournament. Leave it for him. Leave it for him. No, don't die. Why you do this? I'm done.
Kill secured. I'm sure they're having a discussion about this right now.
I'm over. Can I call GG?
Oh, man.
You destroyed my voice. You destroyed everything. Pulse, no, man.
Yeah.
XTC, I want to go and smack Dota and DotA right now.
Yeah, but there we go, we have it. The GG does come out, and I mean, still a great performance from XTC. I wish I got to see. It would have been the first Rampage of the tournament, right?
It would have been the first Rampage of the tournament, and a much-deserved Rampage.
Yeah. And we have like the loudest shout cost it, and then it doesn't happen. So, I mean, still, again, Pulse looked a lot better in this game, but it wasn't enough. XTC definitely the dominant team here.
Yeah, there you go. It's Deppy versus Aghanim. Just look at that, dude. I mean, this guy played so well. And if you have a look at Adestam, how many times did he die this game? Twice. Still only the twice. 2 deaths in 2 games. I mean, this guy, can you even kill him? Can you touch him when you have a player like Deppy that controls extremely well? That is his job. Not just to get the kills. If he doesn't get the kills, he at least gets the control off.
Yep.
And if this game started going over towards the late game, towards like further on, Adasan would just come in and he would just start like going ham. That is his job. But how can you kill the live stealer when you have Deppy busy bashing your face in?
Yeah, that's the thing that they were playing around, right? They sort of baited out these big team fights. The Brewmaster would kite individuals around, and then Deppy would just jump in there and just clean them up very quickly with the mold strikes, doing a tremendous amount of damage, and then followed up by sort of a great ice pass from Dota and Die. We can't actually neglect that. And on top of that, Doom Bunny had some rocks that fell out of the sky that were just quite precise.
I mean, you have to give props to Dota and Die. He played extremely well. He played phenomenally well, actually getting those ice pass off on the like last little ice block of that ice path. He would actually hit them.
Yeah.
As the heroes are running away on their little hill, it was very well played by XTC. But Pulse Gaming showed a couple of kinks in XTC's armor here. And the guys that are going to be going up against XTC, I think, really have to focus on this game and see, listen, Pulse could have actually taken this game if one fight.
Yeah, I can agree. And we brought it up. They have a lot of experience, and they obviously identified potential ways for them to maybe take a game off of XTC. Didn't pay off. But, I mean, XTC, they are just looking in very good form. But Energy and XTC are definitely the matchup I want to see.
Awesome. Guys, on that note, I'm Reddit. Joining me was Scarpy. What a game. Congratulations to XTC playing up against XD tomorrow. That's it from us. We're heading back to the panel.
Okay.
Thanks very much, guys. What an entertaining game. It really was probably my favorite game of the evening so far. One more to come, so we may still have an upset here, but certainly a really, really fun game. What do you guys think? Do you share my opinion on this one?
I do, especially the second game where Pulse really brought it back into it. Interesting picks. You were really excited about the Sand King and the Lich. You know, they were all coming back out of nowhere, and they did it pretty well. I mean, they got off the wombo combos, the epicenters especially, as well as the chain frosts. Well, sometimes they hit one person, but you know, it's the kills that what mattered the most, and they were ahead for kills for a pretty long time, and I think they could have won, as Reddit said, if they only had the one fight that was essential to it.
Well, my prediction was 2-1, and I am super sad that it didn't work out. So I'm going to actually, for my punishment, take off my sunglasses. Now, the reason why I've been wearing these sunglasses is because the studio lights rivals the strength of the sun. So I will suffer for the rest of the panel, which is probably going to be about 5 minutes. But yeah, I mean, we saw some amazing play coming out. The Jakuru had some amazing ice paths. We saw some amazing plays coming out from both teams. And I mean, at one side of the coin, Pulse looked like they could actually take it, which made it really, really scared that, I mean, my prediction was this close to actually coming true.
It was.
Not necessarily. It could have gone 2-1 the other way then.
Yeah. If Pulse won the second one, I think they could have also given themselves the confidence to win the third game as well. That actually kicks XTC to the lowest brackets, and that would be a huge surprise. Now that APG, against Energy, it's unfortunate now they have to play against Mythic next, but APG won't be the only surprise that we see during the day, but also XTC to get down as well, and then that would actually bring the tournament to a pretty tight situation.
Yeah, it would be like everyone's like level pegging.
Yeah.
I mean, we started ranking, and now all of a sudden, Pulse out of nowhere just shows this light that's coming out from the center of them, and then kind of surprises us. And maybe that begs to ask the question. I mean, they had a little bit of a different draft. I mean, first time we've seen the Sand King being picked up, the Razor being picked up. These one or two heroes that maybe made the change could actually potentially be something to start looking towards, to maybe look at the bigger teams that taking them down.
Yeah, I think, though we say that, Pulse going down to lower brackets, I think they have the opportunity to make it back. I mean, they're going to play against VNR tomorrow, right? I think, because it's
should be
APG and Mythic. So
it's APG Mythic now, so yeah.
Yeah, so I think they have the opportunity to win that, seeing that they played so well against XTC. Yeah, so I think from then, I think they can slowly make it back. Hey, okay. Who did that? They say we look alike.
I see nothing wrong here.
You don't? Okay.
Was there something?
It was a long flight yesterday.
I was, right?
It's a really long flight.
Because you came from some international area, of course. Not,
Yeah.
Not Bloemfontein.
Well, welcome to South Africa.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a very good place. They should host the next major here.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because some might feel that your previous conversation may have been contrary and...
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I'm glad that you retracted
I didn't mean what I said
statement.
before. Yeah, no, I did. My apologies.
Well, there you have it, guys. It's
from Malini himself.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk from one joke to another joke. Dota and Die, not the player, but rather the action of the kill secure.
Whoa, yeah.
Denying Deppy that rampage.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Brutal.
sure that Deppy should have gotten it. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you can do that in a pub. You can't do it in a comp.
You do it in pub, but in there are stats in pubs, friend.
Well, it's a pub.
I see.
But you know, comps are recorded forever. You know, like back 10 years ago, Deppy did this.
You mean Deppy almost did this?
Well, if only, right? If only it could have been something big for the tournaments to keep as history.
I would be that guy. I'm someone who's like, I would be saying that I would literally sell all my items, start carrying a dagger onto me just to ensure that rampage doesn't occur.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate, but
is that why you buy a dagger? Is that why?
I have to keep it right. So if Deppy had a dagger, right? Yeah, secure them.
So that's why I play Necros, because you can pretty much secure a kill for yourself.
Right. Thank you. Like
that's why I play Necros.
We should become a team.
You give me the kills.
This is how a team is going to work, right? So what's going to happen is Jackie's going to be running around with Dagons, right, and stealing everyone's kills, right? Yeah. Jabba's been playing a Necro to ensure kills, and I'm going to buy Yules, so I can Yules the guy who's being Necro LT and steal the kill when he lands. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
You're going to be the Dota and Die on our team.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
In case there was any misunderstanding, I've always been that man.
Okay, I'm glad we agreed to this beforehand.
I had a... Ironically, was a Sanking story for another time. Why my trolling all started.
Cool.
I was just that guy. Sorry. So last thing I want to chat about before we move on is actually Pulse's 36 minutes. I call it the sort of almost comeback. Not because there was some sort of massive spike or anything, but they just looked like a different team for just a moment. And it was of course that high ground defense where they managed to pick up the Panda towards the end of it.
Yeah.
They pushed Deppy out of the base. Do you guys think, and you mentioned that if that one fight, I assume it's the same fight we're chatting about, that if it gone the other way, it may be... So, is there a hat on one of our cows?
Oh yeah, you were concentrating on the game. Yeah.
You were being a good panelist.
You're being a good panelist.
It's not even a cow, it's a sheep. Just it's been along there.
Yeah.
So
Cole, Stacey, and Daisy actually.
So which one's which now? I think this is more important than my question. Which is?
I think it's Riz.
So it's Carl.
No.
Carl.
Yes.
Stacey.
No, this looks like a mom, so this must be Stacey.
I think that's Daisy. I think this is Stacey.
Oh, is this Daisy?
Okay. That's sorted.
Stacey's mom has got it going on.
Giving away your
See
age,
where you're going. Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't watched American Pie?
Was that an American Pie? That song?
Yeah, I think it was there. It was there.
So 36 minutes in, they were playing with their tails up a little bit, right? Let's play a little bit of what if, right? So, do you think that they can have that same moment, right? Like for a full sort of 45, 60 minutes of a Dota game. Do you think that would be enough to maybe get them through the low bracket entirely and make it to a grand final? I realize it's saying like if you play your best all the time, always, is that the potential that's there in this particular team?
Yeah, I think Pulse can do it. Like to be fair, they have the players. Like they're really good. They've shown it to the previous teams. Now that it's together, it's fairly new, but I don't know. If not this tournament, soon. Like I can see good things coming from them.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, from what we saw in the last game that Pulse actually showed us, that they actually have the potential to actually make it happen. And I mean, XTC is a really good team. I mean, they did take down APG. They did actually send BVD into the lower brackets last year.
Yeah.
So APG was a really competitive team. And, Pulse, we can go either way,
So let's go. You mentioned APG, and it's about time, I guess, we start chatting about them, because we'll be, of course, APG versus Mythic. Before we get too much onto that, you may notice a joining the cows, because this is how this works. The cow and cow sheep, or Carl. We do have this lovely APG shirt, and what you might notice as well is that it is in fact signed as well. We'll be giving this away in the final matchup this evening, once again APG versus Mythic. So don't go anywhere. Check it out. It's going to be a really exciting matchup, and also a bit of a sad matchup, because although that shirt will be going home with one of you, and hopefully it fits.
Well, I actually want to get onto stream now and say, please vote for me, because this is a really cool shirt.
It is a really cool shirt. It's got a bird on it, so I'm happy.
The Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know where the bias comes from.
Slight bias. Anyways, so but that said, there is a little bit of a sad part about this, was that one of our teams are in fact not going to be here tomorrow, and it's going to be either Mythic or APG. And I'm not going to ask you guys who you think it's going to be. I'm going to let you sort of savor that moment for a moment, because I think for now it's probably time to take a little bit of a break. And when we come back, guys, we say goodbye to one team as one team's hopes are kept alive. Until then, see you.